Hello, welcome to the Decorators Den podcast with Baz and Sean. This week we are going to be doing a get to know your host, and this week's is Sean. Just a quick mention, we are proudly sponsored by Nap and Bristle Decorating Supplies. Do you know what actually, Sean? I've
What's
actually
that?
just ordered the Arrowworthy Patriot brushes.
Oh, I seen that.
Um,
I actually spoke to James through the week
yeah,
about them. But by the way, hi everybody. I spoke to James through the week about them, but I'm going to hold off because I reckon that Arworthy will give trade show days at the Coventry show. So
yeah, yeah,
trade show special, sorry, at the Coventry
yeah, yeah.
show.
But
So,
yeah, I've just
but
ordered some from Nap and Bristle, and I ordered them this morning, and he's already said he sent me a
set
picture
them out.
saying that they've been sent out, and I was like, fucking legend.
Ideal. Aye,
But yeah,
such a good service.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But
I
yeah,
quite
so for
like
any
it.
of your decorating supplies, www.napandbristle.co.uk.
And remember, folks, when we get to 300 subscribers on YouTube, we've got a goodie box from Nap and Bristle to give away. We're about halfway there, I think, aren't we? We're about
Yeah,
115
157,
nearish, I
8
think.
maybe.
So,
Um,
so if you're watching this and you've not subscribed already, just hit the wee bell button, not buzz, that's a different kind of bell. Hit the bell button on the um, on down there, down at the bottom somewhere, or hit the subscribe word, and it costs you. It's free of charge, it doesn't cost
yeah,
you anything,
it'll
and
always be
that'll
free.
it helps us. So
And do you know
basically, we
what?
need
I
to.
think there is a button there to get notified whenever we upload a video.
Right.
So next week um, is Halloween, innit?
Yep.
So we'll be doing a Halloween special for that.
Well,
So
I think what the plan is for next week, I think we're going to have a Halloween special. It'll drop on Friday the 31st, which
yeah.
will be Halloween. So for every only dads or teenagers or like
Or if
college
you just
folk.
don't like your kids and you're not going out.
Exactly, and you're wanting to sit in, and you're shutting the blinds and turning your lights off and pretending you're not at home. We'll hear Decorators Den special with some scary stories, maybe some nightmare customer stories. We're going to hear a few guests on that telling us different things that have happened. Some of the stories are brilliant, by the way. We've got a couple of wee stories that we've took for different Facebook groups that me and Bas will tell, and
Yeah.
just whatever else we can dream up to next week. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And then there'll be the regular episode on the
yeah,
following Monday. So it's like
yep,
you've got two episodes in 1 week.
class,
So don't say we don't
brilliant,
fucking
innit?
spoil you, because we do.
What you been up to this week, Bas?
Do you know what, mate? I've had a good week this week. Monday to Tuesday. Bloody hell, done that quick. I did a bedroom.
Yep,
Wednesday to Thursday, I did another bedroom and a bathroom.
same house,
Um, Not different house.
different. Aye.
I was in Wigan Wednesday to Thursday, where do you know Scottish people can't say purple burglar alarm
Yep,
or whatever it is.
purple burglar alarm.
Well,
Purple burglar alarm.
Wiganers can't say dirty purple curtains. They say
Dirty purple curtains.
they got dirty purple curtains.
Right?
That's how
There
they
you go.
say
There you
it.
go. So if you're from Wigan, prove Baz wrong.
And if there's any other sayings, leave a comment because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of sayings um, that I haven't, I don't
100%. We'll
really
hit
know
give them
about.
a
But yeah,
test it.
and my Mercury is broke.
Aye, so tell me about it because obviously this is thingy, but I
Yeah,
had
so basically, you know, once you're done for the day, you empty your scuttle liner out back into the
yep,
fucking tin,
yep,
um, and generally what happens with me anyway, I'll say, right, Ethan, put all that stuff in the scuttle and carry it all to the van. So he's not carrying all this shit, all that.
yep.
I put loads of stuff in the scuttle. Anyway, didn't empty the scuttle liner, just kind of like folded it over together. Put all the stuff in, put my Mercury in. I've obviously been driving home and whatever. That bag has just gone and literally, one sec.
So I'll just think about in here, folks. Baz is obviously waiting to get the marker. Oh my god!
But mate, I don't know if you can see.
Right,
I've scraped it all out, but it's just fucking
is it working now?
nah. It turns on. It turns on. Um,
But just
but
then rotate.
yeah, it just doesn't rotate. And I've lost a little
Fuck's sake.
key thing. You know that you get a key remarker, don't you? Like a
Aye.
little Allen key thing, and you can. I don't know where that is, so I can't fix it. But yeah, how's your week been? Apart from that, I've had a good
Uh,
week.
I had a job that I did 2 years ago that I had to go back and do some snagging for. It was a paid job, like
Yeah, yeah,
return customers. I did that outside the week before, so I was there about 3.5 days doing a wee outside. It's just single story, low level bungalow.
yeah, yeah,
But and the inside's beautiful house, like nice mural wallpapers and but it was just settlement. Like basically, it was a full renovation when they moved into the house. So there was loads of new plaster and stuff like that. So fixing settlement, cracks, touch ups, and no, generally quite nice folk. And then the last 2 days, I've been at the project that's been going on a bit longer. It's about 20 minutes away from me up the road, the New Galloway Road, and it's a full renovation. But I'll be there for there's probably 20 days working it in
yeah,
total,
yeah.
so I'm probably not even 20% through it. I'm waiting on the electricians and plumbers and the
Oh
joiner
fucking hell!
finishing.
You might be there
But
a
I've
while
got
then.
well, I'm busy enough, so I don't need to really like. I go if I've got like a rest of a week. I like going and doing a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah,
Ken, so it's all been first coated and the woodwork, some of the woodwork's been undercoated. So really then when the electricians get the boxes and the plumber gets the radiators and stuff on, it'll just be a case of going in and taping up and finishing the rooms like so.
yeah.
No, I'm on the ball with that one like so.
Good, good stuff.
Good
I'm
job.
on a 2 week job next week.
Right.
Um, it was one of them jobs where I was a bit like, I don't know if I can be arsed with it, but and then I saw the size of it and I was a bit like, yeah, fuck it, go on, I'll go for it.
Aye.
So sometimes you get like that where you're just like, and then you think of the
No,
money, don't you?
I quite like a big job to sink
Money's
my
the biggest motivator.
well, that's it. I quite like a big job to sink my teeth into, like,
Yeah,
and I don't like taking money straight away. So I like just to
working through it until it's
aye, because it keeps me motivated. Like you
yeah,
say, Ken, if you don't take like payments every week or payments every
yeah,
month, like so that job at New Galloway, I'm maybe 20% away through. I'm on a price, by the way, but I've not took a penny for it yet. So
yeah.
I'll wait till I'm
It
finished the
feels like
job.
you've earned more at the end of it, then, doesn't it?
Even though you've had weeks and weeks amount of work there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
aye, if you're getting a big lump sum, or maybe I don't know, I don't know what to say, but like say £5,000 or £6,000 in your
yeah,
bank, it's like Ken instead of taking £1,000 here and £1,000
yeah.
there, Ken.
Yeah, because at the
And
end,
so,
when you've only got 2 grand and you're thinking, I've done that for 2 grand, even though you haven't,
exactly.
like, but yeah.
Aye,
Right, so, this week's host, not this week's host, Sean is every week's host.
aye.
Um, this week's episode is about the host, and it's all about you, Sean. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Sean has, you've had your business since 2021.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
So that'll be July
July
22nd,
22nd.
22nd of July, wasn't it?
Yep. It's actually my
2021.
dad's birthday. I set
All
my
right.
business up on my dad's birthday, just as a extra wee bit.
And you was like, yeah, Dad, look what I've done. Happy
Aye, happy
birthday.
birthday.
Are you
Happy
proud?
birthday.
Are you proud? Look what I've done. And you cover Dumfries, Galloway, and South Ayrshire.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
So for anyone, I know a lot of people mostly follow you on TikTok, don't they? But I think throughout Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the Decorators TikTok,
Yep,
is around 8,000 followers you've got.
yep,
And
that's
you've
right.
just made a new TikTok, haven't you? Because Sean's been a bit of a naughty boy on TikTok.
Yep,
So he's had to make a new one. So go and follow that. That is Sean-Little-P and D.
Yeah,
on
my other
TikTok.
TikTok's going to end up getting
Um,
banned on strikes. So,
so yeah, just in
um,
case it gets banned, I know a lot of you bigger fans of Sean than you are of me on the Decorators Den.
but to be honest
So
with this decorators den, like, I don't know why I'm pointing, is more important to me. So if I get banned, it just means that
yeah, yeah.
more work goes into the decorators.
But
So.
yeah, go and follow his new account just in case his other personal account gets
And
banned.
just before we get into any questions, can I just say, well done on the pronunciation of Ayrshire, because a lot of people would struggle with Ayrshire, or
Why is
saying
it?
Ayrshire. Like, no,
Why?
it
Because it's
was.
spelt like AYR,
I didn't know how when I thought. So
like
I wonder if
Ayrshire
he's
summit.
able to say it. Free Scalloway and Ayrshire was said perfectly. So,
I might be shit at maths, but
and
English,
geography is his
I'm very,
subject.
very good. Very good, my
Very well,
friend.
very well travelled.
um, but yeah, so you've been smashing it on socials as well recently.
I've been
Um,
doing all right.
and if you want any work done, if you're from Galloway, Ayrshire, or well, South Ayrshire, or Dumfries, you can find his number on Google. Is it on Google?
I would Google, Facebook, Business Messenger would
Facebook,
be
and on
easiest.
Facebook it's just Sean Little Painting and Decorating. Easy to
To be honest
find.
with you, I'm not the best at answering my phone because I get that many scam phone calls a week
Yeah, yeah, I'm
that
the exact
sometimes
same. Yeah.
I don't even bother. So I
If you don't
prefer
leave a text or a voicemail, so that is the biggest hint. Leave a text
I
or a voicemail with just a little note of, I'm just looking for a quote or blah blah blah, a little bit of information. Then Sean knows you're not a scammer. Same here.
Facebook Business Messenger or a text message exactly. Yep,
Yeah,
that'll be the easiest way, Ken.
exactly. Yeah. Um. So should we get started?
Yep.
So the first question is, where did you grow up and what kind of kid was you?
So I grew up in a wee place in Galloway called Wigtown. Wigton's actually Scotland's national book town, so quite ironic for somebody that's fucking dyslexic and probably never read a book in my life. But like a relatively straight for it upbringing. Like obviously we listened to your upbringing a few weeks back, and
Yeah, yeah,
yours was quite harrowing and loads of shit went on. Like I'd very normal kind of childhood. I've got a sister and a mum and dad, and can we get holidays every year? We're working class. My dad's obviously a decorator as well. Like
yeah, yeah,
but like I had generally like a good childhood and
yeah,
obviously Wigton's quite a rural area. It's no like city. The
yeah.
biggest town about here
Everything's
will
out
be
the way, kind of thing.
Stranraer. We're
Yeah,
an hour away for our nearest hospital. Ken, it's Glasgow's 2 hours away, so we're really in
yeah,
the fucking middle of nowhere round about here,
yeah.
Ken.
I know what you mean because I know when I went to Scotland, everything was minimum an hour drive. Every
See,
time you wanted to do something.
I had worked for somebody one time before, and they lived in Preston, but they live up here now. And
Yeah,
they had kind of explained to one of their friends who was still in Preston. They were like, "I'm 20 minutes away from my closest supermarket. Sorry, I'm 20 mile away from my closest supermarket."
yeah.
And the person in Preston was like, 20 mile away from your closest supermarket. And they were like, aye, but it only takes me 20 minutes to drive there. Whereas I
Yeah.
think in bigger cities, you're maybe three
There's a
mile
lot more
away,
traffic, isn't there?
but
Obviously, when it's
you're three.
rural,
Exactly,
it's
aye.
you go in what 60 mile an hour.
60 mile an hour everywhere, aye.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
with you saying about your dad being a decorator, would you say decorating was something you always wanted to do?
Well, kinda. So my grandfather also was a decorator. My grandfather's dead, and my dad still is a decorator. So shout out Derek Little Decorating, also in Wigton. Um, but no, he actually used to say to me when I was younger, "Oh, don't become a fucking decorator." So there's no money in it. Because he was an employed decorator for a
All
long
right.
period of
Yeah. Yeah.
time. Then he wasn't what do you call it, like he didn't set up his own business till I think he was about 40, 43 maybe. Obviously I'll
Yeah.
come on
So
to my business
he
later
kind of
on.
set up later on in life, then, really, didn't he?
Aye,
Yeah.
so he did. So he always kind of tried to steer me away from decorating, saying there was better things to do. And so actually, when when I was leaving the school, I went and saw. I had actually got a job as a electrician, or I'd got a start as an electrician, but
Yeah.
I couldn't pass or I tried twice to pass it, the Scottish Electrical Charitable Training Trust test.
Yeah, yeah.
What a tongue twister to say. Talk about things that are hard to say. And it obviously it was like an aptitude test, so I failed it a couple of times on kind of the maths kind of parts it, which obviously I wasn't that fucking great at anyway. Mainly the writing down, the show your working side of maths. See,
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
arithmetic, I'm great at.
Well, they
But,
always,
but
do you know what? They always say you're either good at English or you're good at maths.
I'm probably good at neither. But no, so when I failed at that twice, I kind of gave up and I ended up going to work for a builders merchants called Penkillen Sawmill. So it
All
was
right.
a sawmill,
Yeah.
and I actually got into quite a good job there. So I started on like a skill seekers course for like 55 quid a week,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and, but my wage so it was like a 6 week course, and then after that course I got offered the job, and then I just got promoted and promoted till I was
Yeah,
working
yeah.
some of the saws and stuff like that. So I ended up doing that before I eventually went into decorating. So it wasn't always written in the stars. I was there for about six years.
Yeah. So
Um,
would you say that that was your earliest memory of picking up a brush or being around like
no,
the decorating?
see, although I didn't get straight into decorating, I did have a wee bit of experience with being for a family of decorators. So the earliest memory I think I remember was a wee house near Port William. My dad and my grandfather were both working on it, and I can. If I was to drive by the house, I could point it and tell you that was the house, but I couldn't explain
Yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah,
from here want to get to
yeah,
it. But they were painting the outside render of the house, and I was just literally there. Can I be maybe 11, 12 year old fanning about,
yeah,
moving
yeah,
dust sheet, pulling dust sheets for them and stuff like that. And I think I was getting 2 quid an hour, and I was absolutely loving getting £2 an
yeah,
hour.
innit?
So I think with that with that money,
Mate, that's
uh,
good though because how old was you? About 11 years old. When I
or even
was
12 maybe I.
what, 15, 16, I was only on £3 odd an hour.
Aye,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
No,
So
I think I used that money to buy like World Championship snooker. My grandfather paid me a World Championship snooker PlayStation game and a 48 box of Worcester sauce crisps. But
yeah.
but but Ken, something like obviously I've other times where I was took away and I was stripping wallpaper with my dad in Dumfries and closer to home in Wigton I was doing wee bits and pieces, but always felt like so I might be joke about getting a box of
Yeah, yeah.
48 bags of Worcester sauce crisps and a PlayStation game, right? But I really feel like doing that in my early time in my life really gave me like a work ethic. Like
Yeah.
if I want to own something, you hate to work
You
to
need
get
to
it.
work
Like
for it. Yeah.
because and I've never been money motivated. Money doesn't really bother me, Ken. But I was always a good saver when I was younger. Ken, I
Yeah.
would put all my money to the side or whatever if I was going away on holiday.
Yeah.
Ken, so
Yeah. That's good because like with my oldest, I'll take him to work as well sometimes.
yeah,
And when I was young, I had a job doing a paper round when I was about 11, 12.
I had a paper
Um,
route too. Yeah.
just I think that was what, about £8 a weekend, like for 2 days.
Aye,
And
but
I
exactly.
I was buzzing with it. I was like, oh yeah. And then I used to go and walk the family dog for like £20 a
Aye,
week,
pocket
like
pocket money.
yeah, before and after school, like.
twenty
Um,
pound a week. I used to get
but
a fiver a week.
it helps. Do you know what I mean? It builds you that
Aye.
work ethic.
Well, I think I was the same. I've took one of my daughters. She's older, and she's like flew the nest. She's 19. So, um, but my other daughter, she's 12, and I've taken her out working with me. I've took them both out working
Yeah,
with me
yeah,
before. In fact, I've still got videos. So my oldest daughter painting a radiator on my phone and taking my youngest. I think it's important to instill that in
yeah. It is
and,
absolutely
and give
is.
them the work ethic. Like And I think I used to get a fiver a week pocket money, and I used to get I get 50 pence a day, I think, for the school
Yeah,
or something like that. And I think I used to keep my 50 pence a day for the school, right?
yeah,
And then obviously I would pay 7.50 by the end of the week, but that was enough to teenage drink
yeah,
when I was younger. So
yeah, yeah.
that £7.50 would buy Big Beastie. I don't know if you remember Big Beastie. You're a wee
No,
bit
we
younger
had
than me.
Frosty Jacks.
Frosty Jack
Is that
cider.
is that is that what it is? Like a big bottle of cider? No.
No, but Big Beastie's an Alcopop. Like it's
Oh, is it?
probably a wee bit. It's a big bottle of Alcopop. It's like Blue Wicked or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever the ins like Bacardi Breezers and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that, but like a huge maybe litre bottle, 2 litre bottle or
yeah, yeah,
something. So we used to obviously teenage drinking back in the day. So that's what my £7.50 that would save
yeah.
up through the week was gone to. Yeah.
So, who or what? Who or what gave you the push into painting and decorating?
Well, so the push basically came for the 2008 recession. So I mentioned in last week's podcast that I also lost my job. So I've got a blood disorder,
You've got a.
hemochromatosis. A blood disorder. I've got hemochromatosis. It's too much iron in my blood
All right.
stream, right?
Fucking hell.
And my boss at the at the builders merchant. So
You
basically,
wanna
when
you wanna give the wife some iron? Get get some ironing done.
that would have been a good time to get the Iron Man mask on, actually. When it,
It would have been perfect.
I exactly failed. Keep an eye out for later for the Easter eggs. For this is only a thing for folk that are watching, by the way, that are
In
getting
it,
paid off doing it.
yeah.
Right, aye. So where was it? Aye. So I got in 2010. I was diagnosed. No, in when was I diagnosed? It couldn't have been 2010. About I was diagnosed with hemochromatosis, which is an excessive amount of iron in my bloodstream, right? And I started needing to go and get like a litre of blood took every 2 weeks because they really needed to get this iron
Down.
levels down, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
my employer at the time, working for that builders merchants, hated the fact that I had to get away. But it was a
yeah,
medical condition, Ken.
yeah, yeah,
So basically, he tried to screw me, tried to get me on get out the door on redundancy. Not redundancy, what's it called? Like pay me off, even though
yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't the last person in. So basically, I ended up getting paid off, but I took them to tribunal for unfair dismissal and won it.
yeah. Good.
And obviously, I got a decent payout, right? But my dad at the time had a massive contract with Stranraer Hospital, like
All right.
NHS work.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was that busy and needing decorators, and I ended up going to work for my dad. So it was a bit of like it was a wee bit of luck that the fact that when I was losing my job, my dad
a decorator.
was a decorator running his own business, and he had about 3 employees at the time, and I would have been the fourth. So I was kind of the timing was probably lucky more than anything else because there wasn't a lot of job opportunities about in 2008. There was
Yeah, yeah,
I tried some of the fish factory bits and no the fish factory, the cheese factory. So it's like creameries and stuff up here, but again they weren't taking on anybody really on. Ken.
I'm assuming you didn't have a passion for that.
No, no, I didn't. To be honest with you, see when I was that kind of age, I didn't have a passion for very much. To be honest with you, I
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
passion for getting money,
yeah,
smoking weed. That was
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Kind of driving about in a nice car and going for a job that had a good wage and getting a payout. I, I was very uninterested in on. Not that I didn't have a work ethic. I knew that I had to
yeah,
work, but I wasn't the most motivated character. I was your
yeah,
typical 17, 18, 19 year old, whatever age I would be. I'm not
yeah.
very sure. Like,
So, with you being on about that then about you going working for your dad, would you say that that was kind of your first steps into decorating, or is
that
there
was
something
that.
else?
No, that would definitely be my first steps into decorating. It would be like, honestly, I could probably give a whole I could do a whole episode in working with my dad
Yeah,
because there's that many stories and ups. I don't know about what questions you've got coming up and how far you want me to get into upsides and downsides, but
You can get into as far as you want,
so,
mate.
so
The
no,
episode's unlimited time.
like I didn't. I wouldn't say I'm no close with my mum and dad. I'm close with everybody, but I'm more close with my own bubble, like my own
Yeah,
kids
you've
and
got
my wife and that, right? And working with my dad wasn't easy, and I would say, we'll have my dad on at some point, like, but
can't
I'm
wait.
sure it wasn't easy for him when I was working with him either, because
Yeah,
I can be a bit of like, I always think I wasn't treated like an employee because I was his son,
yeah,
and in some cases I would be right. So, for example, I used to work with me. There was a guy that worked, young boy, same age as me, that works with my dad. Shout out Tipper, by the way. He watches the podcast every week. He's
what
one
is
of
it?
my best mates. So shout
Fucking
out
legend.
Scott Hoodless, right? So me and him were the same age, and it was great working with him, right? But Scott, and still to this day and age, is the least rely. You couldn't rely on him whatsoever,
Yeah.
right? And he would sleep in, and but obviously because I used to drive, I would hate to pick him up and take him back to take him into work, right? So I would, if he was running late, I would get into Wigtown where we'd meet in the mornings with my dad, and I would get in trouble for him being late, and he wouldn't back me up. By the way,
Yeah,
Scott would be standing going, "Oh, it was me that was late
just
there."
let you get all the shit.
I'd get the shit, but it wouldn't matter anyway, because even if he did say,
Oh, it was my fault.
"Oh, it was me," he wouldn't have gotten as much trouble. But because it was me, I got loads of shit.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got belted in the mouth a couple of times when I worked with my dad. I got a punch in the face a couple of times. Sometimes I deserved it. Sometimes I didn't deserve it. Um, Sometimes I was right. Sometimes my dad was right. Ken, there was like, look, Ken, I'm getting on as if my dad was really hard to work for, but Ken, me and Scott used to be fucking sitting up on chimneys, painting chimneys, and we'd both go up onto the chimneys to paint one chimney, and one of us would sit and do the painting and had the bucket, and the other one would be sitting making a spliff.
yeah, innit?
And and obviously, my dad is no fucking stupid.
Yeah, he
He's
just
a
kind of
smoker,
turned a
mate,
blind eye to it a bit.
and it turned a blind eye, and obviously we got away with murder, and then sometimes we didn't get away with murder. So
Yeah,
I can't sit here and say, "Oh, it was terrible working with my dad,"
yeah,
because it had good times, it had shit times. I think the best thing that I ever did was when I left him.
yeah,
Obviously, we'll come on to a bit of that
yeah,
later.
yeah.
Like, but because I think if I had worked with my dad my whole career,
I
I
thought
think I
you
would have
froze
ended up.
then. You went. Yeah, no, I thought you did. You went. If I
Like
was
this.
working.
I'm gonna make you para by just going. Uh, no, I think if I had worked with my dad my whole career, I would have ended up hating him, and he would have hated me.
Yeah,
So I think the best thing that ever happened was us fucking splitting up and me getting on to different things.
yeah,
So I served my time with my dad, by the way. So
yeah. So I don't know if you've got any other mentors or just your dad or whoever, but is there anyone specifically that helped you shape how you work, like how you work today?
so I think I take a bit for. I like to think that if somebody's good at something, I take a bit in. Like I always watch somebody that's good, so I take a bit off everybody. So
Yeah,
like always, I'm really good at doing my own work, obviously. But so for my dad, for example, my dad would be really good at doing outside work, like
yeah,
exterior, and like say sash and case windows. Now, loads of people wouldn't even have any experience and
yeah,
might
in it.
never paint a sash and case
Yeah,
window in their life. But because I've been trained in that, I didn't really see the benefit of it when I was doing it. But see, years later,
but not,
realising
yeah,
how much a special skill it is to be able
yeah,
to paint them and putty them and do them properly, what bits to paint first.
yeah,
And obviously, a lot of decorators, especially in my area, but nationwide, look at exterior buildings and they're like shitting themselves,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they don't know where to start. Well, my dad's bread and butter is doing exteriors, right?
yeah,
So it's almost like in my blood that I'm
yeah.
able to do it, and
So I know a
so
few
that
episodes ago you said you absolutely love doing exteriors
I
as
do
well,
love
didn't you?
exteriors. I would do exteriors year round if I had the weather. And then obviously on the other side of that, like I'd said earlier, my grandfather was a decorator too, but him and my dad are totally different in the same way that me and my dad are totally different. But I think they were closer than what me and my dad are. But he was quite well renowned being a good paper hanger in the area
Yeah.
and a perfectionist decorator. And then I would also like to say like about my lecturer at the college, like Ali, he was an old guy. Um,
Oh, sorry. Speaking of lecturers, um, I said mine was Alan Johnston or
yeah,
Johnson. It wasn't. It was Alan Jones.
oh there we
So
go.
shout out to Alan Jones if you ever see it.
Got a few episodes back. Well, my lecturer, who I can't remember his name, was Ali Thompson, and obviously he was Dumfries and Galloway College, um, and probably did loads of decorators in this area. But when I started the college, there was there was two lecturers. There was a younger guy who was Danny Murphy, and he was from Glasgow, right? And he had a scar on his face, being from Glasgow. He'd
Yeah.
probably been knifed or something at some point, and he was a genuinely nice guy. But he'd be very similar ages to me because
Yeah, yeah.
obviously I was about 20 when I went to start my apprenticeship, so I'd already seen the kind of benefit of working when I was younger. I had kind of got rid of the shit motivation. I'm not motivated, and
Yeah.
I really seen the benefit of getting into the trade, like. And when I've mentioned it, I've probably mentioned it every fucking episode, like. But I got Apprentice of the Year, right?
Yeah.
I, and because in my head, nobody told me. Like my dad had maybe said, there's a big company down in this area called Ingles Decorating. They're a massive painting decorating firm, right? And there was about 4 or 5 decorators at that for that company for my area gone to the college at the same time as me. There was also a decorator for Annan who ended up being one of my best mates, and a decorator for Dumfries who ended up being one of my best mates. Still speak to the boy in Dumfries, and but I had it in my head that I wanted to beat all these boys to get the Apprentice of the Year, and I did,
Yeah.
right? But and I always thought, Ollie totally backed me. Ken Ollie he was old fashioned, good decorator, and he always pushed you to be better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was Danny. It was the yin that I didn't get on with. No, I didn't get on with. We just because we were similar ages.
Yeah.
I think we rubbed one another up the wrong way, Ken. But I thought to myself, like he was the one that put me for it for the
Yeah. For
apprentice of
the
the year.
apprenticeship, yeah, yeah.
And I just thought that kind of changed my mindset a wee touch. Like I thought, like it was the person that you didn't get on with was
The
the person
person
that
you'd
pushed you.
least expect it to be in it.
Aye,
Yeah.
and I remember getting feedback from the college, and it always made me think too that. So say for example, you get I don't know if it was the same when you went to college, but we got like a cubicle, and that
Yeah.
was always
No,
your room.
so we got
It had a window and a door and a ceiling and 3 walls in it.
we got an actual room. So
Right,
it was like partitioned rooms.
right.
So
I
it was
see. So
like a
yours were
real life room kind of thing.
only 3 sides you walked into. The inside was open, right? And so the head guy at construction skills was there, and say I can't remember what we were doing. Say we were painting woodwork. Everybody was painting their woodwork, and the guy for construction skills had to interview every apprentice. So he interviewed the boys for the company and locally, and interviewed the other boys. And when he got to me, this was the feedback I got. He said to me, right, I'm ready to interview you, come and do your interview, Sean. And I was like, oh, 2 minutes, Ian, I hate to finish this skirting before I come because I wouldn't just stop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously you can't just stop in the middle of skirting, get away and do a half an hour interview and you come back. And I remember when we got the feedback through for the college that I was only apprentice that said, "Oh, sorry, I'll have to finish what I'm doing before I
Yeah.
come and do it." Like, and I think like wee things like that always motivate me for a
See,
mentor for a
memories
mentor perspective.
memories like that stick with you. Like
Aye,
you've just said then. Oh, I know I mentioned it nearly every episode, but it's something to be proud of. Do you know what I
aye,
mean?
and it,
And like you've just been saying, then where you're the only one who was like, oh, I just need to finish this off, and th-
aye,
that'll stick with you, but it'll also stick with them because every time they get someone now, they're going to be going, is he going to just stop what he's doing or is he going to
exactly,
finish it?
aye,
Do you know what I mean?
aye,
So even little things like that, it really does make a big difference. It's like when when I was in college, um, I papered my room because we were learning, you know, like in what they call inset corners, the fucking
aye,
uh, papering all
internal,
around that and shit like that. And this guy called Luke, he fucking he ended up papering his room with the paper upside down. And was
yep,
like, oh, what the fuck have you done? And mate, there was a footload of paper left. And we literally all just banded together, fucking stripped it all off. I mean, he did a shit job. He doesn't decorate anymore, like, um,
no wonder.
yeah. But yeah, we all just banded together before Alan came back in, and we all just fucking papered this room within like an hour. It was just like, right, boom, 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 the fucking full room. It was like the size of a bedroom, like a small bedroom. Um, so we all just fucking smashed out, and we was like, yeah, we're all done. Like
Yeah,
nothing
you,
happened.
yeah, I would be a fucking nightmare when I was at college. Like, so like, for example, there was a boy that was at the where you obviously had to roll paint the floors, didn't you? Yeah, as a part
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
arts
yeah,
pack. And I just got everybody together and said we waited till this boy was going to be painting his floors, and obviously you start at the end and then you roll back away. But as
yeah.
soon as he walked to the end of his room, we just rolled all the floors behind him.
Oh fucking hell.
Okay, so he was stuck in a
Yeah,
corner of
he
his
was
room,
literally
like.
stuck right in
But
the
I,
corner.
I was always up to something like so. We had what was called like MPIs in our fucking class. So me and my mate Jack, if you don't freeze, these are MPIs. They're no paint and decorators. They've got no job. They just come in and do like maybe like I think kind of similar to what you started on. It's like maybe a 3 month course into paint and
Yeah, yeah,
decorating,
yeah,
but you just learn the trade or learn a bit
yeah,
of the trade. And we got this massive fucking wad of like tissue paper and water,
yeah,
and we stuck it to the ceiling right
yeah,
in this room, and we pushed all like the all lecturers because his desk was in wheels, so he could wheel it about the workshop. We pushed his desk right underneath this fucking piece of paper. So, because what he would do when he came in the morning, we obviously the apprentices were first. He would deal with us first before he went on to the MPIs,
yeah, yeah,
and because so he'd come in and he would do his register and say, "Oh, Sean's here, Jack's here, Dan's here, Ken." So we pushed this fucking bit of this desk right underneath this wad of drip like tissue paper so that it would drop in his head, right?
yeah,
And we left his book open. But Jack used to come in every week and he would have a black eye or he would have burst knuckles. He was always fighting. He was always getting
yeah,
battered. He was always fighting with somebody. But Jack had all the MPIs. Like these are fully grown men, by the way.
yeah,
Some of them. Yeah, Jack walked up to the man and says, "See if one of you fucking tell Ali when he comes in here, I'm going to fucking smash you." And they shit themselves because of the way
yeah,
Jack was. He was just confident, even though they would have battered them, they would
yeah,
have got
yeah.
battered probably. So we pushed this fucking desk into his, and then Ollie came in, sure enough, stood below this massive fucking bit of tissue paper, and we're all looking like, oh shit, this is
Trying to
going to
fucking hold it in.
fall right on top of his head, right? And no word or lie, he literally got through the whole register, and they fucking he was like, right on, you go and do your work because we obviously had set out work today, and he literally took one step away from his book, and this fucking softball size bit of tissue paper just went split onto where he was standing, like, and must have missed him by like that. But
Oh,
there
mate.
was constantly stuff like that happening, Ken. But I honestly,
Do you know
if
what
you,
we had? So I don't know what she was called. She was just like Alan's fucking helper or whatever.
Aye.
And I can't remember, it was either like Tracy or fucking Paula or something like that.
Yep.
And she was a fucking stickler for making sure that your brushes were washed out proper. You were fucking
Aye.
stood there for ages, smashing it on your arm, making sure not a drop of paint was coming out anymore.
Yep.
And you fucking, and I still do that now. I'm like, fucking, when I'm washing my brushes, I'm like fucking smashing it against my arm, making sure nothing's coming out. But she'd test it after you'd washed it, and mate, if a tiny bit of paint was still in it,
Aye, mate, you clean
get
it.
that fucking washed right now. Get that fucking done,
Aye.
mate. Honestly, but it teaches you good, because it was like, even now, I
Aye.
stick to it now. Like,
Ollie was like that. Ollie was a perfectionist. Made sure that everything was cleaned out. If you were going to be doing doors, like Dickhead here, you had to gloss a door obviously, and
yeah,
your thing as well. And he was like, you can do your doors any colour you want. And he was like, but my advice would be, don't do red or don't do yellow,
yeah,
because
because they're hard to.
they're hard to. If you're getting your undercoat and gloss, you need to be so perfect, or you'll no cover.
Yeah.
Dickhead here done the red. So so of course I had done 5 or 6 coats of gloss on the red door, and I couldn't get it to cover, like so I learnt, like, Ollie was always right. There was no, like, sometimes I was right, sometimes Ollie was right. Ollie was always right, but he obviously was in the trade long enough too. So we
Shout
had
out
done
to Ali.
we'd done some stuff. Other kind of college stuff that we did before too was like he even would wind us up, by the way. So he said the metalwork bit was right beside the painting decorating bit, right? And I looked out the window one day, and he knew I would bring my car and stuff with me, right? And he looked out the window one day and he says to me and
The
Jack,
camera doesn't know
"See-
what to do.
right, stop." Eh, he says, "See all that fucking metal out there? That it was like wee aluminium plates like this." He says, "See, that'll be worth some money at the scrappy if you were to get it." It was lying right beside the hedge, right? So
Yeah,
I says to Jack, "Come on, we'll fucking gun and lift it, and we'll take it down to, like, there's a local scrap." This was before the times where you'd hit a give ID through.
yeah,
So we went up at lunchtime and got my car down to behind the hedge, and Jack jumped through the hedge and passed me the metal through, and we fired it in my car, and we took it to the
what
scrappy,
metal
right?
was it?
Well, mate, we got to the scrappy, and the
Don't
metal was
suppose
worth.
it was
It
iron, was
wasn't.
it?
It wasn't iron. No. That's what you
Definitely
should
not
have said.
iron
We
though,
had
no.
X amount of iron in my bloodstream. We took it to the scrappy. How much do you think we got?
Um, how much was there? Like
A car boot full.
£100.
£3.
Did you?
So that so
Three
so that
pound for a
all
fucking.
so that all cunt probably said. I look at it, he probably said to his lecturer mate, the metal mate, he says, "Watch this, I'll get my fucking boys to come," because he knew I took my car. "I'll get
Yeah,
my
yeah,
boys to steal that metal, and we'll watch them at lunchtime." So, and they would have probably stood up in their office watching us coming along and stealing the
yeah,
metal,
innit?
knowing fine well that it was worth fuck all.
Yeah.
Then and obviously we
Just
couldn't have gone
fucking
back to him.
doing the job for him.
And we couldn't go back and say that fucking metal was only worth £3 because he nicked it. You know what I mean? So,
Just gotta fucking kick yourself, ain't you?
it was fucking class.
uh, so, we've gone through college. What was your first proper job? You
For
ever worked on as Sean Little painting and decorating?
well, before that, we get on to that, there was so I worked for my dad, and then when I finished working with my dad, I went and worked for a big construction company in this area. So that was before Sean Little painting decorating
Right.
ever even became a thing. I always had always wanted to eventually work for myself. I worked so
So
the head
you've just
decorator
answered
and
one of
all.
my questions then, because I was gonna ask you a little bit further on. Did you always want to work for yourself? So you've
Well,
just answered that one for me. Go on, carry on.
but I so when I served my time, I got through my apprenticeship with my dad and stuff like that too. Um, and the head decorator of that company had left and started up his own business, so that company was then left decoratorless. So there was like there was a lot of Polish people that decorated in that company. So I ended up finishing my time with my dad and starting with that company straight away. Like, right, so it's a multi-million-pound company in this area. Anybody locally will know what company it is, and they're huge. So they build like Grand Design houses. One of the houses actually was on Grand Designs that I worked at.
All right.
Award-winning million-pound houses. They'd built distilleries, schools. So I started there working with the Poles, and in the first maybe few months I didn't get on with the Poles, right? But I ended up absolutely loving working with the Poles. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I still have regular contact with everybody that I work with. The other Polish people that I work with there, like, and the lassie that I worked with for 7 years, she was like a sister to me.
yeah,
She still is like a sister to me, like so. Um, we were a great team because she was immaculate. So actually, when you're talking about what I learnt and like looking about like what I've took for better things, she was so clean. She
yeah,
was so pristine. Her work was immaculate. Different way of doing stuff, by the way. Like a lot of weird ways and no really the way we're trained today. And you were kind of, when I first started, I was a bit like turning my nose up at it, thinking, fucking hell, you're meant
yeah,
to
yeah. Because you get
kind
shown
of,
one way, don't you? And then you
I
see
like
someone else doing it different, and you go in, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then
totally finishing the
the
woodwork.
longer you watch, you go in.
I
Actually,
do, I don't know, but see, they weren't time served decorators by the conventional method as going to college like us,
yeah, yeah,
but still they're like great decorators, Ken. So there was like things like painting the woodwork, totally finishing the woodwork before the walls were finished and stuff,
yeah,
which nowadays doesn't seem like that big a thing because of the invention of water-based paint. But that was before
yeah,
the
yeah.
water-based paint kind of
Because
taken off. So
that's what I learnt on was oil based. I'm
ah,
sure you
same,
was the
same.
same. Like, yeah,
And my dad, who still runs his own business, still prefers oil-based to
yeah.
water-based. Ken,
See,
he'll still
What do you prefer?
I prefer water-based.
Yeah, I prefer water based. I do like every now and then. I do get an oil based, and I'm like, oh, like it just goes on
Aye.
different, doesn't it? Like you'll know what I mean. It just
Yep.
applies different to water based, and it just
Front.
looks so much smoother. But
Yep.
yeah,
And the
because
gloss is
it kind of
shinier
self
too.
levels a bit, doesn't it? Oil
The gloss
based, it
and the
kind of
gloss, the oil-based gloss is so much shinier.
yeah, absolutely. If it didn't yellow so easily, like I'd still prefer oil now.
But to be honest with you, like yellow and gloss isn't my fucking issue. If somebody wants gloss, or
Yeah.
if somebody's getting a landlord special, I'm gonna say it right now, whether you think I'm a cowboy or no. Dulux wants, mate. Dulux wants.
Yeehaw! Do you know what
Exactly.
though? Dulux wants his boss.
I
It's
know that's what I'm saying. I fucking
it's
love it for
well
landlords.
underrated, I think,
Innit?
because it looks like a cheap, shitty product, but it isn't. Like
It it
I love it,
yellows
mate.
really fast, but
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing to work with.
yeah, it really is.
Then, aye, so I work for that company. I've got loads of stories again about that company. I could fucking I'll probably tell stories in this, and then I'll come away and think, oh shit, I should have told that
Yeah,
story.
but there's
And
gonna be plenty of episodes where you can mention.
exactly,
Do you know what I mean?
I'll hear other stories, but no, like so. Did a lot of staying away from home with that for that. With that company, I worked in away in Stirlingshire and Kelso, all your Scotland basically. Like
Yeah,
get see that company, the bosses were very like straight to the point. There was no beating around the bush with them. They were obviously a multi-million-pound company. The bosses, you're privileged to even hear the boss speaking to a fucking painter and decorator
yeah,
sometimes. But they're very strict. A lot, and they get the reputation of being fucking arseholes to work for in the area.
yeah.
I don't believe they are arseholes. I feel like the people that go in and work there and don't get on fine majority of the time have no work
Do
ethic.
you know what I feel like with that as well is a lot of the time. So someone will say, "Oh, this company's an arsehole to work for,"
Yep.
and this other person hasn't even worked for this company, but then tells another person, or they're an arsehole to work for, even though
Aye.
they haven't actually worked for him before. And you're thinking, that's how like a lot of people get put off working for certain people just because of fucking telltale. Because one person's had a bad experience, that's fucking Chinese whispered over to fucking 50 other people.
See, well, I had my fallouts. I'll tell these few stories, right? I had my fallouts with them sometimes too, but I'll always come back and say they were really fair. So, for example, my wife, I got married when I worked for that company, by the way, right? And my wife, her stepdad, he got diagnosed with motor neuron disease. I don't know if you can know
Alright,
what
yeah.
that is.
I've heard of
Like,
it, I don't know what it is.
it's like it kills you basically. It's a really terrible fucking illness, right?
Yeah,
And Alistair died, right? But when I Natalie could tell her boss and I could tell my boss, but we had to keep everything quiet and we weren't allowed to tell anybody else, right? So it
yeah,
made it quite difficult with work and stuff because basically my boss had said, if you need to jump in your van, you need to go anywhere. If I had to come back home so Natalie could go down to Kirkcudbright, or if there's whatever happening, um, the boss said, just do as you please. You can always take your van. So they were really fair with everything like that, right?
yeah,
And then like so I got my kitchen. There was a because it was a multi-million pound house company. Sorry, there was a house they were building close by, and it was a holiday house, and they were basically going to rip this brand new kitchen out of this house so they could knock the house down. So
yeah, yeah,
I said to my manager, I'll buy the kitchen that they're going to tuck down. It was massive,
yeah, yeah,
and I said I could put it in my own house, right? And they left me buy the kitchen for 250 quid, right? Which is fuck all.
yeah,
And in that it had a oven, it had an extractor, it had a cooker top, a built-in fridge, it had
yeah.
everything, right? For
Everything you'll need,
250.
yeah, yeah,
But not just that, they left me tuck that kitchen to the yard, like a big massive yard.
yeah,
I could paint it what colour I wanted it, so it was all painted professionally.
yeah,
Um, what else? They allowed me to buy the worktops through the company cheap, so I bought like nice big oak worktops for cheap.
yeah, yeah.
I think I got my whole kitchen put in my house for about £1,100.
Fucking bargain. Absolute
And then
bargain.
and then on the other side of that, so there was a time where so when this was kind of just before I had left, obviously COVID. So you knew if there was something wrong, they went quiet with you. They wouldn't speak to you. They would just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
walk right past you, right? And so I came back after being furloughed. Mind we were furloughed at COVID. I don't know if you went
yeah,
through
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I was furloughed for the full 3 months. I was one of the last employees back, right, which was fine. Obviously, I was sitting at home. It was fucking endless. But when I got brought back, I went back to work at the new yard. It was like offices and stuff that I was painting.
yeah, yeah,
And they kept coming in. There's three brothers, but two of them that I would work for mostly. And they would just walking past me and not even saying good morning, barely speaking to me, not even looking the road at me. And I
yeah.
thought
Fucking,
something's fucking wrong, but I couldn't tell what. And the electrician was there. He had came to me one day just before lunchtime, and he had said because what had happened when they furloughed the staff, it made the Daily Record, which is big paper in Scotland. I don't know if you have a
yeah,
Daily
yeah,
Record in England, right? And because massive construction company furloughs whole 150 staff, and the bosses were really angry that somebody had went to the press on them, right? So the electrician had came to me and said, "Hey mate, do you know the reason they're not speaking to you is because they think it's you that went to the Daily Record?" And I was like,
that
"Eh?"
went to what?
That went to the press, went to the like
All right.
went to
Fuck,
the
yeah,
site, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I seriously." So I'm no joking, mate. I went out to my van to eat my lunch, and I'm shaking my temper. I'm not an angry person in the
yeah,
slightest.
yeah,
I'm fucking shaking my temper, right? And I went back inside after lunchtime, and the main boss, the big boss of the place, was in the phone. He's on his phone in the like a thingy bit, and he's facing away from me. But there was only one door he could come out,
yeah,
so I just stood in that door with pure anger because I was ready for picking the job in there and
yeah,
then, right? So I stood there, and when he walked towards me, I said he tried to walk past me, but I didn't let him past. I stood
yeah,
there, and I said to him, "I want a word with you," and he said, "What is it?" I said, "Did you hear?" Did you think it was me that went to the fucking Daily Record on them? I have heard that. He said, I like he barely gets a word out. I mean, he's
Yeah.
very, I don't know how, he's very to the point. The
Yeah.
boss, I don't know what to name them, right?
Straightforward. Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very straight. I have fucking heard that. I was like, well, that's a lot of shite. All right, and I goes, and I can prove it. So as soon as I said he could prove it, his face changed. He was like, how the fuck can you prove it? I says,
Yeah.
well, I've been working down in Dumfries and Galloway. The people that have been working up the north of Scotland got a different furlough letter for us. So there was two furlough, like so 75 folk in the firm that were doing work in southwest Scotland got a different furlough letter for the people that were up working
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
north
I
of
get. Yeah. I
Scotland.
get what you mean. Yeah.
So I got the article up on my phone and says, see that fucking letter there? That's for one of the 75 that were for up north. And I was stone mad. I was ready for packing my job in, and I
Yeah.
just said, and he totally changed with me. Oh, you're writing off, and I went, and you can tell your fucking brother too, because his
Yeah.
brother, obviously, who I never got on with, was being fucking totally queer, no, like being ignorant with me.
Yeah. It
Eh,
doesn't mean queer in that way.
I
Yeah.
had, they came at me now, like, I being fucking funny
Just
with
being
me,
a
like.
dickhead. Yeah.
But since I had kind of stuck up for myself, they were the next day when he came in to speak to me. So me and the Polish girls were standing in the kind of kitchen painting, but we were talking shit. And of course, when the boss walks into the room, you just totally
Yeah. Zip it.
and you
Yeah. Yeah.
awkward. You don't know what to say. You don't know what kind of cut he's going to be. But he was in, and he was my best mate because we'd been spoke about fucking food. He was like, "Oh, you think you're a bit of a cook?" And all. So he went
Yeah.
from no speaking to me to being
But
totally
that's the thing,
fucking.
though, lad. If you, lad, fuck, I don't know why I've just
All
said
right,
that.
soft lad.
But that's the thing. Like, if you want to stuck up for yourself, you'd have spent weeks and weeks fucking fermenting in that and just going, it was Sean, it was Sean. There
Aye.
would be no way he would be fucking talking to you.
See, obviously, I didn't know until the electrician who had thing about, and I've got another story about the same electrician who was a nightmare to work with. By the way, it's a fucking pain in the ass to work with. But I've got another story later on. We'll get into another subject
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I'll be able to tell you about how he actually saved me again. But if he hadn't told me that why they were being queer to me,
yeah,
I would have never known. Like, but I because I actually tried to say, I'm like, who the fuck told you that? But he wouldn't tell me.
yeah.
So somebody, there
There's
was a
someone
couple of,
in the company going,
he said there was a couple of
whispering,
people.
yeah.
Aye, but I mean, that company, people I'll know for this area are famed for,
I've noticed as
it's,
well, Sean. You're talking, and there's no lisp. What's going on?
aye,
All your new followers are going to be confused.
aye, exactly. Yeah.
So, while we're on about painting and stuff, at what moment did you think, do you know what? I'm actually really good at this.
So that would be maybe back when I worked with my dad, actually. Believe it or not, it was like, there was what was my dad always used to fucking say to me, "Oh, you'll never be a fucking painter and decorator," and it
Yeah,
wasn't. But my dad now will claim that, oh, he said that to give me belief in, because
yeah, yeah.
I am very much in nature though. If somebody tells me I can't do something, I'll fucking prove you wrong. Like,
You do what you can to prove him wrong.
but that wasn't what my dad was doing. My dad believed that I would never make a fucking decorator, right?
Yeah.
But I remember I went to we're working on a wee cottage, and I was to undercoat the gutters and downpipes, cast iron gutters and downpipes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, I just had a great brush. I've picked up a pen, but I just had a great like wee fucking paintbrush, and you know how sometimes it's just giving you nice clean lines, and
Yeah,
I was going around it, and I was cutting in all the cast iron brackets, and all the pipes were looking neat as fuck,
yeah,
and I knew I'd made a good job of it, but actually, say it was a Wednesday, I went to the college on a Thursday, Friday, and on the Thursday, Friday, Scott, the boy that worked with my dad had finished the cottage, so I was never back. But I remember getting back to the work on the Monday with Scott, and my dad barely ever praised me, by the way. But I remember Scott saying to me, "Oh, your dad was saying I made a really good job of doing the gutters." I was well impressed with because I knew they were good. But when I was doing it, I knew. that was making a good job at.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but even hearing it, even though it was through a third party,
Yeah. So
hearing
it's
that
like you knew it, you knew it was a good job, but hearing someone, especially your dad, going,
aye,
he's done such a good job there, just gives you that fucking confidence boost on it.
even hearing it through a third party
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
enough. It was enough to boost me because I'm still in the
And then
believer
you got
that
home and your dad was going, that was shit.
exactly. No, but I'm in the belief too that I think I've been decorating for nearly 20 years, like 17, 18 years
Yeah.
probably, right? And I still think like my dad looks at me like I'm an apprentice sometimes.
Yeah.
That like he'll watch this podcast or he watches me doing something and he'll be saying, "What the fuck are you doing it that way for?" Or he's shaking his head or whatever. And I think to myself like, I've been doing it for fucking nearly 20 years.
Yeah,
I'm
I
never gonna
think
get
I've got an idea what I'm doing now, Dad.
exactly, but he's been a decorator for 40 years
Yeah.
nearly probably. So it's just a case of I don't think he'll ever get over that kind of I'm the boy and he's the thing away. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You're the
Because
boy,
I
he's the
think
man.
we went to the football recently and he'd said he made a comment like years ago when I was trying to teach you something, you wouldn't take it in, and now I'm on a podcast telling other people how to fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean, Ken? So it just shows you. But obviously,
What's your dad's name?
Derek,
Shout out to Derek.
forgive me the belief.
Yeah. For telling Sean he can't do it.
Exactly, I or
Mate,
maybe wouldn't have been here.
what doesn't kill you makes you
But
stronger.
to be fair,
Come on,
though,
Sean.
to be fair, I wouldn't like I explained earlier. The timings was good, and there wasn't many job opportunities coming along. But my dad didn't need to give me a job as a decorator,
Yeah.
and if he hadn't given me the job, I wouldn't have been a decorator, or I probably got a
Well,
job in a
that's it, innit?
cannery or a factory or something. So.
Yeah.
So I do hello as much as we didn't get on and didn't see eye to eye all the time. I do hello to thank him for and that, whether it's criticising me and never telling me that I did good,
Yeah.
or actually
Never let anyone know they're doing a good job.
aye.
No,
Well,
while you're on about your dad, what's one bit of advice that stuck with you? It might not be
oh,
from your dad, it might be from someone you work for.
um, obviously everybody goes to the knee pads, didn't they? Wear knee
Yeah.
pads. I
Fuck.
can't stress it enough. Um, I always used to get told put knee pads on and you never fucking listen. Advice wise, I was lucky, like unlike yourself, that didn't ask the questions about the business side and pricing up and stuff. I did take a real interest in decorating. When I started doing it as an apprentice, I was like a sponge. I took in as much as I possibly could,
Yeah.
right? I think that maybe became because I was a wee bit older and I had worked for another company
Yeah,
first.
you
Like
had.
I'd worked for a builder's merchant first or a sawmill. And so because I was older, I really seen the benefit of learning my trade because so my advice for anybody watching that's it doesn't matter what age you are, because like I said earlier, my dad was 43 when he started up his own business, and you might be sitting there watching this and you're 40 year old and you're working for somebody and you're getting £700 a week, and I'm going to say it's no too late for you, but to start up your own. But I think like if you're working for somebody or you're you're employed in any way through any types of trades, I would try and tuck in as much information on your trade as possible
Yeah.
because you might think at the time, oh, fucking repairing sash and case windows, or you're just coming along and slapping a bit of paint in a window, and there's
Yeah.
no that much to know. But see the amount of knowledge that I have on special subjects like sash and case windows, or the knowledge on how to paint an outside, like how to do tricky areas without scaffolding.
Yeah.
Sometimes other decorators are pricing scaffoldings, and also the business side, or like putting your 20% away, or fucking um, or like pricing up, like knowing that you're going to need 10 litre to do that ceiling. You get what I mean? So,
Yeah. So
so I would just say,
what is the most valuable advice that you've been told that sticks with you today?
oh, I don't know. That's a loaded question. There's too much.
Yeah. it's one of them where it depends what kind of situation you're talking about, doesn't it? Really.
I think no matter who you're working with, there's always something good that you can pick off
Yeah,
them. But I
absolutely.
think you're a fully qualified decorator. I'm a fully qualified decorator, right? I think if I came and worked with you for a week, there would be things that you would look at me thinking, why the fuck is he doing it like that?
Yeah,
And it would annoy the life out of you because
yeah,
you're not trained that way. And then the other side of the coin, you'd look at me and go, I never thought of doing that. That's a clever idea.
yeah.
And
Well, I've got
and then
right. Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. It's just because I'll forget. So, do you know when? Right, you've done your walls. You're doing your
yep.
skirtings, right? You're about to do your skirtings. Do you cut your wall into your skirting, or do you just go right onto the skirting?
See, I'm a big fan of taping up nowadays, but no, I would get into
So
scripting.
obviously you haven't glossed yet. You just
I,
you're just
I
doing
would
your
get
wall
out,
colour
I would
up to
hit
your
my script,
skirting,
top edge of my scripting gets hot in with the colour.
does it? See, I was always taught to slightly overlap onto the skirting,
And then you can
but
cut a neat line.
and that yeah, um, but the lad who I used to work with, he used to just fucking drench the skirting, with the
Yep.
wall colour, and it used to fucking aggravate me, and I was just like, why are you doing that? I mean, once he started glossing and that, it was fucking immaculate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So I didn't really have a reason to moan or out. Like his work was still spot on.
Yep.
But it used to just aggravate me getting so much onto the skirting, like, because I've always just overlapped a bit enough so then when you do gloss, it's
So here's one that my dad would do that like what I've never worked with any other decorators that do, but it's so much faster, right? So you paint your ceiling one
yeah,
coat, and then you paint your walls up to your wall heads, but at the top of your walls you just roll up to the top of them, and you miss that, right?
yeah, yeah,
You don't paint it in your first coat. Then after your tea break, you paint your ceiling again, right?
yeah,
And then so you've double coated your ceiling, but you've no painted that bit at the top of your wall. So once you've set coated your ceiling, you take your wall colour and you just go around. It doesn't need to be even the white doesn't even need to be dry. You go around
yeah, yeah,
then, and then when you're finishing, you just paint each wall at a time. See the amount of people that would paint the ceiling, paint the walls fully up to the top,
yeah,
and then paint the ceiling again, and you're having to be careful of the white.
yeah,
See the amount of that'll probably save me an hour every job. And it was a wee
yeah,
thing that my dad used to do, or my dad still probably does do, that that no other decorators seem to do, and I've always done it because it's so much quicker, in my opinion.
yeah.
Ken,
See, little tips like that just save you a bit of time, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
And again, like you was on about, a lot of people will do two coats on the ceiling, have to wait for it to dry, and then
Before the
fucking
aye,
start cutting in. Um, so would you ever? I don't know if you've kind of answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
yep.
Did you ever work for anyone who pushed you hard? Maybe not easy to work for, but made you better in the long run.
I think what maybe like it's obviously was that company that I worked for. We've
Yeah, I
kind of
had a
spoke
feeling it
about how
might have been.
my dad pushed you, but I wouldn't say it was the people that I worked for. It was more the people that I worked with.
Yeah, yeah,
So the girl that I worked with, I'll no name her because it'd embarrass her. The folk will be local Ken, right? The girl that I worked with, she had been working there for 7 years before me,
yeah,
and the main boss of that company had pushed and pushed and pushed her, and she was a brilliant decorator, right? Or still is a brilliant decorator. So when I got there, they did stuff different, but their finish was immaculate.
yeah,
Which obviously I've came out of a decorating company that's laid off brush marks and
yeah,
done stuff, no slapdash because that's the wrong word, but done stuff the more conventional way to go
yeah,
in and work in £1 million houses and factories and stuff where they're wanting the factory finish, they're not
yeah.
wanting the brush
Slap and
marks or
dash.
all.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think like that would have pushed me to be better in some ways. Kind of, I could do the domestic work,
yeah,
but but I had to
But
obviously make.
it shows you what you're capable of doing. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and again, it was a steep learning curve for me because at the end of the day, I was just fresh out of college, just no long time served, and a way to become the head decorator. Like obviously, I wasn't the head decorator from day one, but building up our time, becoming the head decorator of that company, Ken,
Yeah,
it was a big. It was hard gone, and there was a lot of down moments as well as a lot of highs
yeah.
too. Like,
Speaking of down moments, what's the biggest or worst mistake you've ever made?
well, this is the end where the electrician, I think it saved me again. So, um, easy, and so I was working in a house in Stirlingshire, and it was for a spinal surgeon who worked at Edinburgh Hospital. So you can imagine the attention to detail
Yeah,
working for a
yeah,
spinal surgeon. And there was myself, there was a Al joiner that worked there who was a Al bastard. They used to do a lot of talking, but it was fine to work with. It was a good laugh to work with. And there was an apprentice joiner. And it was like upstairs was like the living room, downstairs was the bedrooms, but big £1 million house, right?
yeah,
And it had 2 metre windows in it, like 2 metre window there, 2 metre window above. Like there's maybe 11 windows all the way around this big upstairs.
yeah, yeah,
And in between the windows there had been like MDF made to make it look it was going to get painted the RAL number 7015, the fucking the
The
anthracite
anthracite
grey.
grey. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was
It's quite sad
filling
how
the
we know codes, isn't it?
I used to quite. Oh shit! I nearly said. I'll not say the company name anyway.
Yeah,
I used to call that company name Grey because we used it at that time. It was that
yeah,
common, right? So I was hardwood filler, kind of like 2 part hardwood filler, and the
yeah,
holes,
yeah.
the screw holes in it. And I had my wee Makita palm sander, the wee battery sander,
All right, yeah, yeah,
and I was sanding underneath like that. And I just went like that to look at the bit that I'd been sanding, and it continues to spin when you turn it off, didn't
yeah,
it? And it just went. It went. I'm gonna do this with ASMR, like it went like this, and it touched the glass. These two
yeah.
meter panes of
It just
glass, right? Two scratches on the panes of glass. So there
oh
were about maybe 15 millimeter scratches in the middle of
yeah,
this pane. So of course, first thing I did, I phoned my manager. I said, "Listen, Bob, I've scratched the fucking panes of glass in this window up here. I owned up to. I always would own up to my
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
mistake, right?
If you fuck up, obviously.
My manager was very fucking. Oh fuck it, it doesn't matter. But probably went they would then and gone and tell half the company like
Yeah,
so.
innit?
That's why I thought I better own up. So he was like,
Yeah,
"Don't worry, we'll get the glass police out. The glass police is like a company that can come and fix like scratches in
yeah,
bath
yeah.
panels."
So like resin repair type thing.
Exactly, aye. I was actually away for the job for a week when this guy came. This guy was like a fucking heroin addict that sent out this glass police. So he came along with his buffer and he buffed the fucking the pane of glass. But you could see in the light this indentation in the glass, right?
Yeah,
So the spinal surgeon rightly didn't accept it. So then what happened? So the spinal surgeon didn't accept it. The glass police then sent out another person, and he took the rubbers out of the glass and made a better job of buffing it, right?
yeah, yeah,
But you could still see this slight indentation in it. And for me, it looked fine.
yeah.
But if it
But
was £1 million house, I wouldn't have accepted it
yeah,
either
innit?
if I could
Yeah, yeah.
afford it, right? But so obviously the spinal surgeon didn't accept it. So I nearly said the company name again there. So the company
Just
made the decision to remove the glass and re-put it in. Now this company owns cranes as well. They're huge, right? They're
yeah.
maybe 5 or 6 different cranes. The cranes are £1,000 a day to hire for them, by
Fucking
the
hell.
way, right?
Yeah,
So they took 6 joiners away for the distillery job because this window's up high. They took all the rubbers out. They put suction pads on the crane. They lifted this 2 metre pane of glass out. They lifted it down onto the ground. They put new suction pads onto the new pane of glass. It got lifted up, and when they put it into place, somebody had measured the wrong size of glass, and it didn't fit. So the crane had to go back to the site.
Yeah.
The six men were there for no reason. They had to put the Alpine back in, and then they obviously had to do the whole thing again. They had to get the right size of glass. It had to
Yeah.
get took out, crane it in again, brought down, 6 men away from the site and refit the glass. So in total, that cost that company £11,000.
Fuck me.
For
Oh,
me,
and what did
for
you
me
learn
making
about that moment?
well, for me making two tiny wee scratches, it cost the company. Obviously, it wasn't my fault. Somebody measured the wrong size, and it
Yeah.
wasn't my. The first glass police, the heroin addict, the second guy that came to glass
Heroin
police,
addict.
because they basically said if the first guy had buffed the whole pane first time,
Yeah.
it would have been fine. But because he buffed the one area too deep, they couldn't fix it.
Yeah, they
So,
couldn't.
so if they'd got the second guy first time, it would have been. But that fucking like comedy of errors
Yeah.
basically led to £11,000 worth of damage for me. I couldn't sleep at nights, boss,
Yeah. I
for
bet you still
worry.
have sleepless nights now.
Well,
Fucking
I
11 grand. Every time you near a window, you're like, fuck
well
me, be
exactly. I,
careful.
that's why it makes sense to be fucking insured. But like,
Yeah.
so just another wee story off that because I think I'd be better telling it. So 6 months had went by and there was not a word of it. This is how the electrician saved me again, by the way. So I got well, I told the boss I got headhunted for the council. Like I got offered the council job. I didn't. I went to an interview for the council, like the local authority, and I
Yeah, yeah.
had a great interview. And I knew as soon as I walked out of the council offices, I thought I've got that job. So
Yeah.
I had my disclosure Scotland and my occupational health to get out, but it took them about 2 months to get back to me, and they offered me the position, right, or working for the council, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
decent high job. So I went to my employer that I was working for this big company, and I went and said to him, "Listen, I've been headhunted. I didn't want to tell him I'd went for an interview, and said, unless you give me a pay rise, I'm leaving." So he gave me a substantial pay rise, right?
Yeah.
He gave me. So obviously, I then went back to the council and said, like, I can't take a job on. I've been gave a significant pay rise. So then about a week later, my pay hadn't went up, right? So I phoned the office and I said, "Hello, Heather. I was meant to get a pay rise last week, but my pay's not going up." Oh, Stuart had mentioned it. He said he's wanted to speak to you about some window that you've scratched. So of course, as soon as he
Oh,
fucking said that, my whole body, like this is 6 months, 8 months later.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
seen the boss loads of times. It had never been mentioned. I
Yeah.
thought he's just no worried about it. Insurance is paid for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think the colour just totally drained out of my face, right? The lassie on the phone had basically said, "Oh, because you tried to scratch this one day, he's maybe not going to give you his pay rise now, right?" So I'm fucking shitting myself, thinking, "Fuck's
Yeah.
sake, I've just turned around and told the council that I'm not wanting this job, and I knew I'm not going to get this pay rise." So the electrician that had told me about the time that they went to the papers was sitting in the office that day doing paperwork just by pure chance.
Yeah.
And when she put the phone down, he said to her, "Who was that on the phone?" And she had said Sean Little, right? So he had then said, "But he didn't try and hide the fucking fact that he'd scratched the window because he tell everybody." Because
Yeah.
I don't like look at me on this podcast. I'm literally an open book with
Yeah.
majority of things.
And that's the
I,
best way to be, I reckon.
and so basically, I think she had went back and fed that information back to the boss. It's really hard for me to talk about because I keep
Yeah,
wanting to say
without
names.
name
I don't
dropping.
want to name the
Yeah, yeah.
company. And the following week, my pay went up, and the boss still has, to this day, has never mentioned the wonder I've
Yeah.
scratched. He never. I think honesty. That's if you're going to take something for that story, is just no matter how much shit you're going to get in,
Yeah. Just
just
be
always
honest. Yeah.
always tell the truth. Like,
Yeah. Right, we're gonna have a little break from the
yeah,
questions. I want to start doing a little weekly.
mind speak into
Am
your
I the
mic.
arsehole? Yeah.
Mind speak into your mic. You're like, oh, another.
All right. Um, yeah, I want to start doing a weekly. Am I the arsehole? So
Yep.
I think I've got a story here. Have you got a story with you?
I've got an am I an arsehole? So I'm going to basically, the way I'm reading this thing is I'll end my story with am I an arsehole, and that lets people comment and say yes or no.
So you'll kind of start it with that and end it with that.
Right,
So you'll
got
be
you.
like, am I the arsehole? Duh, 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 duh. What do you think? Am I the arsehole or is the customer the arsehole?
And it's no for us to decide it.
It's for the viewers. They can
It's for the
decide,
viewers. Right. So,
leave a
you
comment
want
and
going
stuff.
first? Because I feel
And
like
also,
obviously.
you can also give us your situations.
For,
So
for
if
future
you've
am I
been in that
arsehole?
situation, leave a comment and we'll most likely read it out. It might not
Yep,
be the week after, but we'll obviously have a list to get through. So it will get read out at some point.
yep.
But yeah, definitely leave a comment. So I'll go first. Am I the arsehole? We've got the A mask for the arsehole. So here's one I've got. Had a customer who was a plumber. I'd quoted to paper a large bedroom and paint the hall stairs and landing, including the woodwork. They had a massive staircase that was oak. I quoted it separate, so they had the option to add it on as it was a lot of labour and materials. They said no to it being done. I finished and left my invoice. I emailed the invoice and didn't hear anything for a week. I then received payment £600 less of the original quote. Now the original quote was 2,900. They said they knocked it off as I hadn't done the staircase. They typed don't. They meant don't done.
Aye.
I hadn't done the staircase. So fast forward a month. He's at a job and a boiler needed fitting in a property that was being fully refurbished. Got my customer to price, so his customer who's the plumber, got his customer to price and fit the boiler, and the day he was finishing, I turned up, his face dropped when I walked in, and he knew he was going to have the same treatment I got. I paid for the boiler myself with the wholesalers and all the materials, but the plumber never got paid for the labour. He started screaming and shouting how he knew hard men in Manchester that would sort me out. Is he the arsehole or is the customer the arsehole? Now, that was from
Good one.
Dean. He said I can mention his location, which is Blackpool. So, yeah, if you're that
Very good. The
plumber,
minute.
read the comments.
I'm not gonna. I'm no like to sway. I'm gonna lay the viewers or listeners.
Yeah, don't sway the opinions.
So my main one is my favourite subject is about me. So probably I'm going to be an arsehole because so basically I was working for customers. They're return customers too, but they are fucking a bit pedantic. They're like kind of like the type of customer you get that they just irritate you by the last questions when stuff isn't finished. Are you going to caulk that skirting? And you're I think like obviously I'm going to caulk the skirting. Kind of
Yeah,
like really irritating, but fine. It's all right. Some customers are just thinking about it. I always feel like, oh, let me finish. But what I can't accept is if you can see the top behind me, I'm a Rangers fan, right?
yeah,
I don't want to talk about football too much, right? We'll go into fucking shit. But anyway, I was working for this client, and they were he was for Reading, and he started talking. We're talking about football, and he was really slugging off Scottish football as a total, but no just Rangers. He was talking like Farmers League and blah de blah, and that's fine if you're a Man City, Man United, Liverpool fan.
yeah.
Absolutely okay, right? But he was a Reading football fan, and I wasn't accepting criticism for somebody
From
that's
a
a Reading
Reading fan.
fan. Right? Well, I'd been on this job. I was probably about 7 days on this job. I was stripping a living room, anaglypting a ceiling, anaglypting a ceiling, and then wallpaper, like lining wallpaper in the living room, and then and I think it was like undercoat and gloss at the end. It was some of it was painted, some of it was a finished paper. So I basically had done all my work, and it was like the Saturday I think I'd finished, and my plan was to get back on the Monday and gloss it. But I'd said through the week after he'd kept going on about Scottish Fitband stuff, I'd found out that he was a Formula One supporter. Can you hear my dog barking?
Yeah.
It's because the wife's coming in. Right, it's
It's
all
not
right.
loud, don't worry, go on.
Aye. So through the week, I'd found out he was a really big Formula One fan, right? So I hatched a plan. Waited till when I was there on the Saturday, I knew he was really looking forward to the Formula One on the Sunday. So I spoke to his wife saying, well, listen, I'm quite happy to come in and finish and work on the Sunday, then I don't need to come back on the Monday, which was fine
Yeah.
with her. She wasn't a Formula One fan in the slightest, right? So when I came, because I thought if I'm glossing in the Sunday, he'll not get to watch his Formula One, right?
Yeah.
So I came in on the Sunday, but he had his TV and everything up the stairs so that he could watch it. He wasn't going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
miss his race, right? But the Wi-Fi box was in the living room, so I googled to find out what time the Formula One started at. So say it was 12 o'clock. I don't know what time. I can't even remember what race it was, and this was a few years ago, right? So say it was a 12 o'clock race time. So I waited till 11:59, and I went over to his Wi-Fi and I flicked it on and off, right? So that
Yeah. So just a quick switch off, but it completely resets the router
it's
then,
enough
doesn't
to
it?
set the thing about,
Yeah.
right? So up the stairs, I heard this old cunt, the flare board starting squeaking as he was walking to the stairs, obviously. And by the time he got to the living room, I was at the opposite side of the room painting away.
Yeah, yeah.
So he peered his head in the door and he said, "Did you touch the Wi-Fi? You got the Wi-Fi unplugged?" And I looked over at the box which I had been at, and you know how BT hubs the flash orange.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, it's flashing orange. It must have lost connection or something." I says, "I'm doing the windowsill. I'm never near it."
Yeah.
So he just kind of went, "Oh," but by that point, he would have missed the first corner,
Yeah.
which is kind of like one of the most exciting bits of the race. Ken, the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
everybody wants to see the first corner, so that was my revenge, right? But so in the way back up the stair, but every say 10, 15 minutes, I would just walk out of the box and do it again.
Yeah.
And he didn't come down every time, but I think he came down like maybe the third or fourth time again and just looked in the door and says, "Is that Wi-Fi off again?" And I just was like, "Oh," like acting surprised.
Yeah,
"Oh,
acting
I,
daft, yeah,
I,
yeah.
it is off again." So obviously, but then when I finished the job or finished that day, they just get invoiced on completion,
Yeah.
and they were very good payers, were very fast payers, by the way. They
Yeah,
always
yeah.
paid fucking like, but I always thought to myself, I went home that Sunday because Wi-Fi never went off again. It would have knew
Yeah,
that I was doing
he's sat at
again.
home going, it's fucking perfectly fine.
I knew exactly. So am I an asshole for doing that? So, or was I
So,
justified the fact that he took the piss out of my team, so I got a wee tiny bit of
yeah.
revenge against him.
It was a harmless prank. He missed a couple of corners, that's
He missed,
about
he
it.
missed, he missed a bit of the race. You can
So,
watch it in
is
the
Sean the
highlights.
arsehole or was the customer the arsehole? I think it depends if you're big into football or not.
Aye, so there you go.
Because,
Let us
like,
know in
for
the
me,
comments. Right?
I'm not into football, so that wouldn't offend me. But if you're big into football and they kind of dish your team or they dish your
Aye.
whatever, do you know what I mean? Um,
Well,
so
Rangers
yeah,
and
you
Celtic,
decide. I don't want to sway
Rangers and
anyone's opinion.
Rangers and Celtic fans are notoriously um, no very fucking good at taking criticism of their team. But the only time you'll get Rangers and Celtic fans uniting is if an English or other nationality person starts taking the piss out of Scottish football as a
Yeah,
whole. But then you'll get Rangers and Celtic fans both attacking you, which is it's a massive force, by the way. So
yeah,
so that's where we
yeah,
stood. Like,
yeah. So let us know in the comments and give us your am I the arsehole situations as well.
we'll
Um,
read them out in the future.
got a quick question for you, Sean.
What's that?
Right, you've got 5 girls' numbers in one pocket. You've got 5 girls' numbers in the other pocket.
Right.
What do you have?
I know that there's this fucking joke here, isn't there? I don't know, my hands in my pockets.
No.
What? That's a joke.
You've got someone else's pants on, you dickhead.
I nearly had out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Do you need to take a little break, alright?
No, I'm alright.
Okie doke. Let's crack on. I hope the episode's enjoyable so far. Like, I think a lot of people tend to gravitate towards you, and I think a lot more people. I know you're open, but I feel like there isn't much information about your background. So this episode, like even so far, has been so knowledgeable because there's a
Because
lot of things I didn't even know about you.
I fun when I did an interview with you, and I don't think it'll be the very last time we'll do these get to
Oh
know
no,
your
yeah,
host.
we'll definitely, yeah,
We can
absolutely.
dive deeper. But I even fun personally, I don't know what other folk thought about it too, that watching back your episode where I interviewed you, I found it watching it was like obviously I interviewed you, I was there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I found it totally like it was one of my most enjoyable interviews. I
Yeah,
actually prefer the interviewing episodes since
yeah,
we've started doing them. I think, like you say, you find out all this fucking great knowledge about
yeah,
somebody.
you
Ken.
do.
So
Yeah.
I,
But
I'll
yeah, I
probably
feel
go back
like a lot
anyway.
of people will be happy to know because I'm sure there's people that might even be in similar situations currently to what you was in, um,
Aye,
which is gonna help them out because they might be in a situation now where they don't know whether they're staying with the company or whether they want
aye,
to go and set up or whatever. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, so looking back, what's something you wish you learned earlier? You learnt earlier.
Um, Probably a similar answer to what you had said about the spraying. I wish I had. I
Yeah.
wish I obviously do spray if you follow me on any of my social stuff, and I'm gonna be buying a sprayer like at Coventry. I think I'm gonna buy a sprayer then, but
What are you
I'm gonna
thinking,
try
like a
and
Graco or?
crack or a board. I think
How do you say that?
a board. I
Graco
think
or Graco?
Graco.
I
Graco.
say Graco.
I don't
I'm
know.
sure.
It might be. I mean,
Yeah, we might be
Scottish
saying it
people.
wrong, but sorry,
Scottish people
Graco.
are
Sorry,
notorious.
Graco.
Scottish. Um, we're notoriously bad for pronouncing things bad in Scotland, so it might be Greco. But no, I feel like I wished I had. We did spraying at college. Oh, I've got a funny story about when we sprayed at college. Want me to tell that? Or is it, yeah.
Yeah, you can do. We've got
Aye.
plenty of
So
time,
so
mate.
we obviously did the water-based spraying. I'll try and be really fast because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
I
He'll
could
try and be
talk for.
really fast, but his fast version will still be an hour long. Go on, Sean.
Aye, like I say, I've got hundreds of stories, but this is a belter of a story. So there was no oil-based spraying stuff
Yeah,
at Dumfries College, so we had to go to South Lanarkshire College in Glasgow, or it's East Kilbride, I think, to go in and their oil-based spraying because they had the proper extractors for it,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
there was me and my mate Jack, the other boy that I served my college time with. But they also, to save money, they sent like a guy called, I'm just going to name him, fuck it, Rory Hunter, right? I don't know if he's still a decorator or no, right? But it was very, very quiet, right? It was the first year when we went, and he got sent to do his day because obviously it would have saved them money.
Do
So,
you
so
know
we,
who I am? I'm Ronnie Hunter.
Rory, uh, Ronnie Pickering.
Ronnie
Um,
Pickering. Who?
so basically, we got sent up to like stay in a Premier Inn near South Lanarkshire College, and they sent like fucking. I would be 20 odd, Jack would be about 19, 20, and Rory would be maybe 18, right? But
Yeah.
Rory was very quiet, so I had been saying to the boys, bad influence always through my life. I'd been saying to the boys as we went up, right? We're going out for pints tonight, Ken. But when we got up to the Premier Inn, they had no fucking record we were booking, right? So
Yeah.
we're panicking. And now I'm panicking.
I'm
I am
panicking. I'm
panicking. I'm
gonna
going to
lose
lose
my
my
job.
booking. Oh, we're going to. So they phoned Dumfries College, and obviously, whoever they spoke to said, "Oh, aye, that's right. Book them the rooms." And we were standing at the other side of the phone saying, "What about food and drink and all?" So whoever they spoke to Dumfries College gave us unlimited amount of food
Yeah.
an unlimited amount of drinks we could hear. They never put on a thing about it. So I'm like saying to Jack and Rory, right, let's fucking absolute take the piss out of this, right? So we went to a Premier Inn, and there's always like a beef eater normally tied in beside the Premier
Yeah,
Inn.
yeah.
So they'd said to us, right, you can get in there, unlimited amount of food and drink we could have, right? But Rory, because he was very quiet, he went into East Bride Toon Centre to buy T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't even go into the pub. He went and had his dinner. But me and Jack had like £25 steaks and
Yeah.
knickerbocker glory puddings and all right. So we ended up going out and having loads of pints that night, right? And but yeah, every time you got drink or off like that, you had to sign your name. So we every time we went to the bar, we just got um like a pint, and we signed Rory Hunter's name on it, right?
Yeah.
But we ended up getting talking to the bar woman up there, and we said to her, we tell her what we were doing and our plan. So she started saying like, if obviously if you're having 10 pints, it's going to look bad for the college that you're only going to go on. So she started putting pints through us as like portions of chips and
Yeah.
knickerbocker glories and stuff. So when we went back to the college, we didn't spray and we're absolutely fine. We went back to the college the following week, and we had to get back up to Glasgow next week, but we went back to the college the following week. The Hayden man of construction skills burst into our workshop door, and he was like, "Who the fuck swearing at us? And who the fuck had the £25 steak?" And I was like, "Ah, it was me, Ken." And then he went, "And Rory Hunter, why the fuck did you have 6 portions of chips and 3 Knickerbocker glories at fucking 11 o'clock at night?" Rory just his face went bright red, and he just looked at us just like, fucking dickheads. Really fucking. I don't know. That's obviously when I did this brain, but
Yeah, yeah.
just just when I wanted to talk about it, I thought I can't miss that fucking
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Totally fucking stitched them up.
So, have you ever taken on a job that turned out to be far bigger or tougher than expected, but
Aye.
but you pulled it off anyway?
Well, I did a job where it was again I neglected wallpaper on a staircase, and obviously you start on the staircase wall, you start on the biggest walls, and I was halfway down, and one of the named storms hit the UK, and the power went off,
All right, fucking hell.
and it totally fucked me. So a job that was meant to take 4 or 5 days ended up taking maybe about 8 or 9 days to complete. I lost
Yeah.
money on it. Like I still got the job finished to a really good
Yeah,
standard,
yeah, yeah.
and that was only maybe this year. Okay,
All
so
right. Sorry, I thought you were gonna carry on.
I was just thinking to myself, I
Yeah.
didn't even actually talk about
So,
when I started up my
yeah,
own
no,
business or
I
something.
thought, yeah, I was expecting it to be like, oh, that was about 5 years ago.
No,
No, that was only this year.
that was January this year.
Fucking hell.
It was a
Um,
fucking nightmare.
so what led you to start Sean Little Painting and Decorating? Like, was it planned or?
No, it was so obviously I worked for that company, and there was wee things that were annoying me. Believe it or not, I actually started up Sean Little painting decorating because Portaloo was took off the site.
What?
Uh,
You
so
started
so
Sean Little Painting and Decorating because a
because
Portaloo got taken off a site.
yep. So
How did
basically,
that come around?
so there was hundreds of wee things that were annoying me about that company that I worked for. Like no major things. I hadn't fell out with anybody. And it was we're doing a job in Kirkcudbright, and it was on a wee busy street, and we had Harris fencing and a portaloo and stuff outside. The house was finished. It was just like we jobs today. There was garage outside. It was to paint. There was a week's worth
Yeah,
of
yeah,
work left of it, and the customers had moved into the house. And basically, I got there one morning, and the manager had got all the Harris fencing took away in the portaloo. So obviously, I then had to use the customers' toilets and stuff. And like I was fucking raging. I was like, well, I've got a week left to work here. I'm not, and they're living in the house. I can't be fucking getting in and using their toilets
yeah,
that were
yeah,
clean. You can't get in and use, especially know that type of company. And the wee narrow street in Kirkcudbright that was worked in, basically you couldn't get parked on it. So basically what we're doing is when we got there in the mornings, you'd open up the Harris fencing and you'd park your vans in the slots. So because that Harris fencing and the portaloo and that had been taken away, we had to park our van about half mile away and walk for our tools.
yeah.
So you can imagine you got walked into the job and you needed a fucking roll of masking tape or you needed a roller pole. You were you're a fucking half an hour walk back, Ken. So Kerry's sneaking up on you in the new entry. I can see
Yeah,
your
yeah.
eye.
She's just got out of the
Um,
bath.
so basically, that fucking infuriated me.
Yeah,
And I phoned up that day and said, "Oh, I've had enough. I'm leaving. How much notice do I need today to give you?" And the woman on the other end of the phone was like, "Oh, who you fell out with? Do you want more money? Do you want us to change
yeah.
what you're working?" I was like, "No, it's nothing like that. It's just
So
I've had
did you have
enough."
work booked in, ready to leave him? No,
No,
nothing.
I came
You know,
home.
it's a big risk that then, isn't it?
I found out how much notice I had to give. I came off the phone. I phoned my wife. I phoned Natalie and tell her I'm picking in with my job. I'm going to start up myself. She was crying on the other end of the phone.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I phoned my dad, tell him what I was doing, said if I needed some work, would he help me out? He said no, he wouldn't help me out. Keep my job, don't pack it in.
Yeah,
And I phoned, I'll no name her again, the lassie that I worked with, the lassie that was like my Polish sister. I phoned her
yeah,
because I always said if I was going to quit, I tell her, and she was about in tears when I tell her I was quitting. And then when I came off the phone to the three folk, I phoned back to the office and said, "How do you want me to give your notice?" She said, "Put it in writing, put it in an email." And I sent my email there and then on the spot. And
yeah,
a week later, and that night I went home and I set up Sean Little Painting Decorating on Facebook. And Natalie obviously was still upset. And I said to her, and this is fucking bit of advice for anybody else setting up the business, I was like, you can cry all you want, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make money. And see, the very first day that I come in and I had no money to give you, then you get your permission to cry for me. And I started a bit. Well, I'm into my fifth year now, and
yeah.
I've never been short of money. I've never know had work.
That's good though. That big risk really paid off. Do you know what I mean?
So and I always like telling that story like that. That I finished working with the last company out of Portaloo because I always get that reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
it was like
certainly an eye catcher.
the Portaloo was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like
Yeah,
hundreds of wee things annoying me.
it was instead of like a couple of big things, it was
Aye,
just
big fallouts.
loads of tiny little things, and
Exactly.
the Portaloo really fucking.
It was just the final nail in the coffin. That was it. Like that's what I'm quitting.
So you set from that then you set up your business, Sean Little
Yep.
Painting and Decorating. What would you say the biggest challenge was running your own business?
Uh, Customers probably.
Yeah,
I think um, obviously I was a bit naive when I started. I've had one bad customer in 5 years. I had a non-payer. I had it very early on. Really took me out of the blue. She was nice. She was nice as pie to my face when I did the
yeah,
job, and then she never had any intention of paying. As soon as I gave the bill, she changed.
yeah,
Um, she knew what she was doing. I recently found out, or no, recently found out. I found out after that had happened that I wasn't the only person. A lot of tradesmen in the town's been done with this same girl.
yeah,
So it made me feel slightly better, but I still at the time I still felt fucking bitter and that. So I think no, what I did gain for that is like I'm so much better at judging what
yeah.
customers are
Characters and
like.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Aye,
absolutely.
so I've been caught out that one time, and I've never been caught out before. Some customers are tricky and hard to work for.
Yeah,
I think you just need to remain professional, like. But I think
it's
that is the
hard though
main.
sometimes, isn't it? Like, especially. I mean, luckily it doesn't come around too often, but
Aye,
do you know what I mean? It's fucking thingy, but
but also
um,
like obviously, I say the hardest thing about working or running my own business is customers, but my own business wouldn't exist if I didn't hate customers. So
well, yeah, exactly, yeah,
then it's like
um,
it's a. I think return customers are the biggest godsend. People coming back to me for work.
yeah, yeah,
I went round and priced. I had in the middle of the summer. I was doing an outside, and say it was like dry Monday, dry Tuesday, Wednesday was to rain, and then Thursday, Friday was to be dry again. So rather than doing anything on the Wednesday, like starting another job, I thought I'm going to keep Wednesday because loads of people had been waiting for me to go on and quote. Right, I
yeah,
had 18 people to see on Wednesday. So I drove round my local area for first thing in the morning to about fucking last thing at night, just quoting, going round and seeing people for quotes. And it wasn't until I sat down on the Saturday and started doing the quotes, I realised that out of 18, the 18 people, 14 of them were return customers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's my proudest thing, that people are coming back to me. And
Well,
so,
I'm glad you've just answered that because that was my next question. What's the
oh well,
proudest moment of your career?
that'll
Have
be
you
it.
written
So,
these questions?
I'm famed for it.
So now you've knocked my next question. What part of running a what part of running a business do you still find the hardest?
Probably my time management. So obviously, I'm a one-man band like yourself.
Yeah,
I think when I'm working, you have to find time to work.
yeah,
Obviously, you have to work to make money.
yeah.
You have to spend time to go on and see co. I was trying not to look at you because I can't you. Just for the people that are listening, Baz has turned into an incredible Hulk. I look
Yeah,
like that fucking.
if you're listening on Spotify or Amazon, you're missing the mask.
I get over to YouTube and subscribe. That's the thing about.
I
So basically,
can't keep them on though because the camera keeps
the
it doesn't
camera gone
recognise it, so it just fucking goes in and out.
in and out. So what was that? That totally threw me off. Yeah.
So yeah, we was on about the hardest part of running a business, and you was
Aye.
on about customers.
No, time management was on
Time
about.
management, sorry.
So basically, like, I hate to get out and work. You have to find time to quote. You have to find time to do the quotes. And sometimes what I find that I do is I'm fine getting out and working, and obviously I'm booked up right now to about fucking February.
Yeah,
But I'm really bad at for doing it is I go on and or I wait till I've got maybe 5 or 6 quotes to go on and do and people to see. I go on and do them, but then I don't come home and immediately do the quotes. And I
yeah.
probably should. I probably need to start doing it because
See,
they
I
don't
agree
take
with
that
you on
long.
that because that's what I do. You get home, you finish work, you get home, and you think,
Aye,
I can't be asked. And maybe like while you're in bed, you might think, oh, I'll write it up, but then you don't send it until like a day or two later, but then you feel guilty then, don't you?
well, I mean, a week or two later, I did
Well,
a
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I went and looked at a job in Creepton.
I was meant to go and do a quote tonight because I forgot we was doing the podcast, and
TV.
I messaged him then, and I was like, it'll be, because I think I said about 7:30, and I was like, oh shit. If you saw me before looking down and that, I was just telling the customer because I'm quite proud of like time management and like
On time.
being on
Aye,
time and
when you're
saying
working.
I'll be. So I just said,
Yep.
look, I really do apologise. Whenever it's next convenient for you, you let me know
Yep.
and I'll make sure I'm definitely there. But so they're a recommendation, so they know that
You're gonna be.
I'm actually good at what I do.
You're
Like it's not like they've just searched me and gone, oh fucking hell. But
another tradesman no comment. No, because like actually, I think because I've been feeling quite poorly and that I've been having experience a wee bit of burnout as well. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and obviously you ken how busy I am, to Baz, but so I went and seen that job like 3 weeks ago, and I never get sent a quote out till last night.
yeah,
And I said I would hate it at the weekend, but I just hadn't been feeling up to it. She actually got back to me the day and accepted the quote, changed a couple of things, but it's fine. I
yeah,
hadn't even, to tell the truth, I hadn't even messaged her back yet. I hadn't had that much time. So, again, time management's my biggest
yeah. It's the
worst thing.
hardest, but something you take pride on generally, in it.
And something that I strive to improve on, like, so.
Yeah. So would you say there's one particular job or moment that has changed everything you like everything for you?
Since I've started my own business, I would say that there's been one particular customer that changed everything for me too, by the way, that was like on that. So the moment would be a customer would like, so I've got a company that I work for that I'll name, that's Wigwams Wigtown. So if you're ever coming to holiday in Galloway, that's what you Google, Wigwams Wigtown, right? And Lorraine and Ian, it's a family-run company. It's like a holiday park, right? And basically, when I started up my own business, I've always worked for the folk, right? Before I was self-employed, before I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
legit.
yeah,
And basically, they had said that if they would always give me work.
yeah,
If I had no work, I'd just take the phone them and they would find me work,
yeah,
basically. And that would be my biggest kind of moment that changed it for me, to think that it just shows you, if you get out and you're doing your wee jobs, you're doing your sometimes they customer, because that was I painted a couple of houses for them, like insides, and
yeah, yeah,
and that was before they even owned a holiday park. And now that's led on to work that I get 2 weeks in the summer and 2 weeks in the winter maintenance work
yeah,
for them. So there's a month's work for them alone. But there's literally, I could put the bill in. I never do. I could times my bill by 10 if I wanted to.
yeah, and they'll
Put my
just
bill in,
pay it.
and it'd be paid like that.
Yeah,
And there's never any issues. That there's constantly work for me. They know how I work. I know how they want things. So no, that's been the biggest moment for me. Hey, in the backing of somebody like that, and the recommendations I've got out of them too, by the way. So
yeah.
kind of
Big shout out. What is it?
wigwams, big time,
Wigwams,
Wigtown.
Wigtown.
It's like kind of lodges that you stayed in when you came to Scotland.
Yeah.
It's like lodges with hot tubs and
All right. Yeah, yeah.
it's like very, very rural. It's actually award winning. They've won it a few times, like for
Brilliant.
TripAdvisor and all these places. If you Google it, it's fucking amazing place. It's amazing because I painted it,
Yeah,
so it's amazing
innit?
with scenery and stuff.
That's where the award was going. Terrible
Aye,
service, but
for the
amazing
painting.
painting.
Well, me and Natalie's even been stayed in one of the lodges when it hadn't long opened up, and seeing, because there's no light pollution, seeing the
Yeah,
dark night, you lie in the hot tub and you look up at the stars, mate, and fucking million stars, like so.
yeah,
No,
gorgeous.
Google that. If that's something to take off a podcast for anybody, if you've got
Yeah.
this far,
Well, we're on
yeah, Google
about going up to Scotland soon, so I might go and check it out
that. Aye, there you go.
because we've arranged to go where we went last time because it's our anniversary,
Right,
um, November. Um, so we're on about going back up there because it was gorgeous, but they've said they'll book it in, but it's kind of one of them where last time I just paid however much it was up front,
aye.
and while we were there we said, oh, we'll book it again for November, and they said they'll book the date, but I haven't spoke to him since, so I don't know if they've actually booked it or not, so I need to message him. So
Aye,
if they've
because
not, I might just go there where you've said.
they're surprisingly expensive as staycations.
Yeah, they
Not
are.
cheap.
They're not
Can you get
cheap. I think I
either?
paid where we was, I think I paid 600 or 700 for a
I
week,
think I think
which, I mean, it's expensive, but I mean,
I
it
think you pay more for the week than what you'd pay for the weekend. Obviously, that sounds daft, but the weekends are the dear part. So
yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. See Monday to Thursday. I
See,
think
we
you
were
get
there while the people in Scotland were in school, so it was
aye.
school term.
So that'd help you. Yeah.
So I'd imagine that played a bit of a part why it was a. But
Aye.
yeah, fucking. It's like now, the Scottish students are off, aren't they?
Aye. They've been off.
When do they go? Will
My
they go
daughter
back next week then, or this
came back
week?
Monday. Aye. My
Yeah,
daughter's been off for 2 weeks. So yeah.
yeah, fucking hell. See, these only get a week off for Halloween.
See Glasgow and that get a week take. Like I
Yeah,
was working for somebody that was up Court Bridge and they only got a week, so it just shows you.
mad. So now that we've kind of covered Sean Little, his past, his business, let's get onto the social media side of things. So when did social media start becoming part of your journey, and did you see its potential straight away?
So after COVID, I set up TikTok.
Yeah,
I didn't see TikTok as a place where on decorating stuff would really go on. I seen it as just a daft kids, teenage kids up with
Yeah.
dancing videos and
Yeah,
stuff like
that's what
that.
I thought as well, because it took
I
me a
didn't
while.
see
Same with Instagram. I was
that.
never a fan of Instagram.
I'm still no. I'm on Instagram. I've no idea what I'm doing on it. I'm no
Yeah.
very tech savvy, as Baz kens only too well. But Facebook, aye. So basically, all my advertising at the start was done on Facebook. I used to write monthly big posts
Yeah.
about what I'd been doing that week, and I probably hadn't done a post in about fucking 6 months, but I need to do a post. So I do them kind of mere quarterly now, like 4 times a year I'll do a
Yeah, yeah.
post, but I'm overdue one. The only thing that stops me doing these posts now is because every time I write a post, it really drums up loads of business,
Yeah.
and I don't want to
And you
drum
don't
up loads.
need it right now, yeah, yeah.
No, I
That's
could
well,
really.
that's what I'm like. If you look at
Yeah,
mine, it looks like I've done no work for ages.
I'm obviously going to be putting my prices up in January, and I'm hoping that'll maybe slow the business
Yeah.
down it slightly. So
Well,
obviously, again, that's
it's like I was on about. I've just put my prices up and it hasn't slowed
yeah.
down. So I mean, if
No,
people are
you
happy to pay it,
wish you did it sooner.
yeah,
But I think like again, it's a thing with time management for me. It's like you sit down on the couch after your work, and the last thing you want to do is write a massive post about what you've been doing over the last
yeah, innit?
3 months or whatever. So again, it's probably I might even do one tomorrow or something. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
seen the benefit of Facebook, TikTok. Obviously, it's grown really big, and in my local area, it's like a lot of my followers are from here. So obviously, a lot it's like a lot of what the stuff that I put in my TikTok's very fucking bipolar. Eh?
yeah.
It's like a decorating video, and then the next video is I'm sitting in the toilet talking shit to
And
I'm
sticking
helping
googly eyes everywhere.
taking googly eyes in customers' houses and stuff. So again, I do still see it as a laugh, and probably that's the reason why I'm going to end up getting banned off it on my main account. So no, I've obviously been trying quite hard this year to grow it, but and obviously I get a lot of comments when I'm out and about, and people see me and stop me and say, "Oh, I like watching you on TikTok," and it's really embarrassing. By the way,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how to answer it. Ken, so
Yeah. Well, so regarding TikTok, would you? This isn't a main question, by the way. This is just me asking you.
yeah.
Would you say, because you was on about then, like a lot of people know you in your areas that you cover, would you say you get work from TikTok?
I hear I've had jobs for
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Again, I've had I've actually got a job coming up November. Boy contacted me through TikTok.
yeah,
Um, said he'd seen my work. He actually runs a shop. Here, maybe even watch this. He said he runs a shop that sells paint.
yeah, yeah,
So he owns a hotel. He owns hotels, and I went and looked at his house, and I said to him basically, it's like a Holstein land, and you'll see it coming up at some point.
yeah,
Dustless sand, and he already knew what way kind of stuff I would be doing it because he
yeah,
watches
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I'd mentioned, oh, well, I'll tell you what paint to get, and you can get it. And he was like, no, no, I want your clinic stream and stuff like that
yeah.
because
See,
obviously
that's
you
good
see.
because he's obviously heard you go on about it.
So that's really going to help me because he's seen the processes and stuff like that. Again, I took a wee while to get back to him with the quote because I was feeling a bit poorly, like. But I accepted the quote and he's wanting me to get the paint. I've had a couple of people messaging on TikTok. I think this the first one I'm actually doing. Normally, what I do is if they contact me on TikTok, I tell them to get onto my message me on my messenger page because
Yeah, yeah,
if they're on TikTok or on text message or message me on my private Facebook page, I forget about them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
So, would you say how has social media helped open doors, whether it's the podcast collaborations or growing your name in the trade?
growing, I mean, growing myself in the trade, I think my local area it's word of mouth that does amazed it.
Yeah, yeah,
What I do think social media has done for me is obviously I'd spoke about before in loads of the episodes about Murph coming saying to me, asking who are you, and it really brought me out my bubble and made me think
yeah,
like
yeah,
fuck it, why am I scared to put myself out there, because if you look back to this time last year, I wasn't putting my face on camera whatsoever.
I think a
And
lot of us start out like that.
and then now, so what, well, that would be March, so about 6 months later, this has started. So this is one of the doors that I was going to say is open. This podcast,
Yeah.
putting ourselves out there a bit more. I think if I hadn't started doing that, I would have never connected with yourself, Baz.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And not just you, but the other decorators that were going to obviously hate on. So I feel like one of the best things that ever happened to me was Murph with that wee throwaway comment.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant for an ignorant why. He was just saying like,
Yeah, like how, yeah.
sorry mate, who are you?
Yeah.
And even because I'd followed him and spoke to him for a while online, that's really opened loads of
And
doors for
yeah,
me.
if not for that comment, where would you be
This
now?
one,
You
this
know what
one
I
they
mean?
existed.
Yeah.
This one, and
So
funny, I
shout
had
out to Murph for questioning.
aye, and that's funny too
Oh,
because I
Sean,
was
sorry. Speaking about Murph, at some point, I don't know when, I'm getting him a custom made Decorators Den kilt. So
ideal
it's gonna be white. It's gonna have yellow and dark blue tartan.
inside it.
Yeah, it's gonna have yellow and dark blue tartan, and then say like on the front it'll have either in our dark blue or the yellow, the Decorators Den
I
stitched
just
in.
want to say,
I've already got it set up ready.
I was going to say, do you realise how much money a kilt is, by the way?
Yeah, I think I'm not even going to say the price, but I've got it all set up ready. Don't worry.
Right.
It's going to be my
Mate,
first. When we make a bit of money and I get my cut, that's what mine's going on.
flying worth a kilt.
You buy me a kilt because I said anytime we go to like trade decorator shows and stuff, um, he's got to wear it. Whoop whoop. Yeah. So how do you? Sorry. How do you make your
Alright.
online content stay genuine and not about chasing views or trends?
Well, to be honest with you, my content is the least fucking genuine thing ever. I'm totally chasing trends and views, but I don't obviously get views. I'm
Would
no,
you recommend that though as well? Because I feel like how many times do we like rage bait or
but well, to
like
be
it
honest with you,
works, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
if you look at my TikTok, you'll get in between videos that get fucking 200 views. You get the odd video that gets fucking 200,000 views.
Yeah,
And I literally just hear philosophy. Like, I don't care really what's trending sometimes, or I just think if I think it's funny, it's going on.
yeah,
And I don't, and sometimes, like, for example, the day on my own personal TikTok, I actually uploaded to the wrong TikTok. I meant to upload it to my new TikTok and upload it to the Alien, right? I put on a video of me opera singing. And I thought, when I made the video, I thought it was really fucking funny. But I watched it back and thought, oh, that's fucking funny. I uploaded it the night, Ken, before I
yeah,
was
yeah.
laying. Mate, I think it had about fucking 12 likes by the time I came on. So it just shows you, like, what I think is funny. But then again, on the other side of that, I sometimes make a throwaway video and think, oh, I'm not even bother uploading that shit. And
They tend to do the best when you
the other
not really
videos
put
that get
much thought into it. You just go boo boo boo, stick
well,
it on.
like you kind of alluded to earlier on, I made that new TikTok up, and I made a couple of videos because I thought of my content that I'm going to be directing all these people to my new TikTok page, and there's nothing on it. And my
Yeah,
first video was or my second video was me pretending to hear a lift and sitting saying, "Hello, I'm Sean for the National Lift Association," and I did a wee talk to my phone, just sitting on the couch, and I uploaded the video. It's got fucking 15,000 views.
there you go.
Again, it's like
So if you want the views, get a lisp.
get a speech impediment if you want fucking views. Apart from that,
Yeah, and then we can woller it on.
Woller it and stop taking the piss.
And all my fellas. um, so currently on TikTok. I'm just going to talk about TikTok specifically while we're on about it.
Yep.
How do you deal with like negativity or criticism online?
I
Or,
fucking
or TikTok in general, because I know you post mostly on TikTok.
I fucking love the negativity.
Yeah.
I actually go out my way to try and get negative comments. So I say to Natalie, I'm going to put a Rangers. I get up the stairs and put a Rangers fitness top on because it rage baits. So no matter what I
Like,
say,
yeah.
it's like, why are you wearing that
People are not
fucking
listening to what you say. They're just looking at your top
exactly?
and they're going,
I,
"Fucking prick! Why the fuck?"
exactly. I put on less a spell. I purposely spell stuff so nobody reads the captions.
Oh, no, mate. I know. I
So
know.
what I do is I write in the thing about I spell you're wrong, like I spell
Like
it
you're not you are
you
kind of
instead of
thing. Yeah, yeah,
you apostrophe re kind of thing, and I purposely do it so that people like the grammar police come and get me.
yeah.
Um, like I just generally fucking
I put one on the other day. Um, if it was what it wasn't, isn't it what isn't it was
you
does it
can't even
is.
read it.
I
You
can't
can't even
even
read
read
it.
it.
Or I
But
tell you what else seems to work well. The painting one room a day for
oh mate,
£250.
that does well for everyone
Paint,
that done it.
and you're painting 4 rooms a week, and you'd get the maths totally wrong.
Yeah.
And basically you make it look like you're a fucking multi-millionaire.
Yeah, and people are like, that math isn't adding up.
And the
That math isn't
maths is
working
not.
out.
Where did you learn the fucking maths? So so people that fucking troll online, and trust me, I've done my fair share of trolling online.
Yeah,
Does not bother me in the slightest. Like
yeah.
fucking come at me, bro. Like you can't look here nose like this
Yeah, you can't
and not be able to
when
take
you
some trolls.
when you've lived
Wait,
all your
if
life being called Concord
you gone the
knows.
other way, gone the other way. I look
No,
at that
you need to be the other way, Sean.
with like a pickaxe.
Yeah, when you've grew up all your life being called Concord knows. Nothing
Exactly.
nothing and being told dead mum jokes all your life. Nothing online could ever offend me.
Nah, this no bother me.
Not that I hardly ever read them anyway, because I
Natalie
get
looks
bored of
through.
watching
Well,
videos.
I do read them and bite back, but Natalie looks through the comments and be like, "Does that no bother you?" And I'm like, "Nah."
Well, you heard Kerry the other day
Aye,
kicking
gonna be
off.
fighting me,
I've
fighting
just
me.
seen this video and did it. I was like, so what? Like, so where do you see Sean Little painting and decorating in the future? It's say 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
I'd like to take an apprentice on. I'd like to take somebody on. I always said to my dad when I was younger, I wouldn't take anybody on unless I had the money to cover them for a year. So
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm building up cash reserves so that when I take somebody on, I would the last thing I would ever want to do is take somebody on and then hate to pay them off in the winter months
yeah.
if they're quiet. So
Why you're on
no,
about apprentices and that? Um, see, I feel like so with Ethan now. I feel like I don't know what to do with him because I'm trying to teach him, but he's still stuck in his own ways. He's not really like listening to what I'm telling him. It's kind of like
I
in one
feel
ear and
like
out the other.
selecting an apprentice would be one of my big things because I would want a school leaver,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody fresh,
Someone
and
green.
basically, so that what I'd be looking to do there is take an apprentice on, teach them good, train them well, pay them well,
Yeah,
so when I get them to a tradesman,
level.
they know what to fuck off and leave me straight
Yeah,
away,
yeah,
right? And then what my plan would then be is then when I had two tradesmen, I would get another apprentice and eventually it would be like a natural progression that the apprentice obviously when there was two tradesmen, some days it would be me, some days so there would be with the
yeah,
other
yeah,
tradesman, and so when they eventually I would totally come off the tools.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously, but this could be 12 year away, Ken. That
yeah,
that that I can just price and
And
and we
then leave
train
them
them
to it because they'll know what they're doing, innit?
and they know
Yeah.
what they're doing. And I think like by training them well and training them why I want to do stuff today and just be, I think like I'd said earlier on about me and my dad being different. Like my dad was very like go and do this, go and do that, and I always found that when I worked for the company that I worked for, that had a very good way about me when I was like I worked for with loads of people when I worked for that company, and I got on with like everybody that worked with me liked working with me
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
always found that when I was telling somebody to do something, it wasn't like do this, do that.
It's not a
I always,
command. It's yeah.
always made it sound like I was asking them a question. It was like, "I'll go to the
Oh,
what?
would you mind doing that? Or
Would you mind sand that? Do you want to sand that staircase down? No, I've used the phrase. Do you want to sand that staircase down? But
but it's also obvious that it's not a question. It's
I'm telling you to
yeah,
sand the
yeah,
staircase.
yeah.
So I think that's how I'll be better than like no better
Because there's
because
some people that are just too forward with it. Like
I
that's the approach I take. Like I generally, if I want something done, I say, "Oh, will you da 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 da?" Or "Do you fancy going da 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 da?"
I
Rather than just going right, go there and sand that now,
I
because that just sounds like you're being a
I
bossy
you're
cunt.
part, and I think if you're like that way an apprentice when they might serve a time you, but when they get to tradesperson age,
Yeah,
they
they'll
might
fuck you right off.
they might think, oh fuck,
Yeah,
he's an
he'll even
arsehole.
knobhead him for
Well,
yeah,
I think you do hate your stern moments. You can't be just standing about with apprentice all day and you're paying them and they're no doing fuck all. They can't
yeah,
be.
exactly, yeah,
I'm not saying that you need to hate your apprentice day one gloss and fucking woodwork, but
yeah,
there has to be some kind of
some yeah,
progression. So that would be
yeah,
the plan for the business. Like
yeah. And the last question for you, Sean: how big is your nose?
4 inches.
No, if you could give one bit of advice to your younger self, just starting out, what would it be?
Well, I've already said knee pads in that. Just take
Sean,
like
knee pad expert.
I no let stuff bother me.
Welcome to
Like
the knee pad advice. How may I help you?
like so that time when I scratched the glass, I worried about it, and obviously I was honest, and the worries were irrational. Nothing ever happened about it, but I wasn't sleeping at nights and and things like that. So I think like worrying about stuff that never happened, there's no point in doing it. So my advice to myself would have been like, don't worry about
Yeah,
don't worry about things that haven't happened yet. Basically, there's
yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of time to worry. I remember a situation we'd done a big farmhouse, we'd stripped the wallpaper, massive staircase. We put lining paper on the walls, two full lengths, me and Scott that
yeah,
worked with my dad. This when I was working for myself. Scott used to come and give me a hand sometimes. And the wallpaper had all bubbled up. And like two fucking two lengths of wallpaper and it bubbles everywhere in it, right? And I was fucking thinking, oh my god, we're gonna pull that back off. Like, so
yeah, yeah,
I said to Scott, like, we're not putting any more on. We're just going home today. So I'm not joking. I was lying at 2 o'clock in the morning with my eyes like this in bed, thinking about this wallpaper that
yeah,
bubbled up. Went back to the farmhouse the next day, and it had dried absolutely perfect.
yeah, yeah,
And it just sealed it. Like, why the fuck was I so bothered? And what if it had
yeah.
bubbled up? I
So
could have
what? You
pulled
know
it
how to fix
apart.
it, but again,
Exactly.
I've been in that situation myself. Like where you're just up at night and you're just thinking, "Fuck!" Like if I get there in the morning and it's da 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 da, you just
Aye,
stress it. Like sometimes you just can't help it, because it's not like you don't know how to fix it. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. And it's painting at the end of the day. It's
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah. But yeah, you do have them moments, and even that, you probably till you're fucking retired, you'll still have them
Aye.
moments every now and then where you just sat up thinking, "Oh
I
fucking
think
hell."
if I had the advice for fucking Sean, that's what it would be. It's like,
Yeah.
don't fucking
Don't
worry.
fucking stress so much.
Aye,
Yeah.
it's stress that fucking kills you, too, by the way.
Yeah, innit?
And worrying about fucking shit that didn't happen. Why worry about it? And at the end of the day, if lining paper, you make a shit job, lining paper bubbles up, you paint it the wrong colour, who gives a fuck? It's easy fixed.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Right, anything you want to add on, Sean? That's
No,
all the questions I had.
no, just something I wanted. Again, I'm aware that we've took a lot of time up, and it's probably nearing the 2 hour mark again. Something I did want to touch on that you didn't, or it didn't come up, and I just wanted to say that when I started my own business, I didn't. I meant to say earlier as well. The
Oh,
worst thing
right,
I
yeah.
plain sailing, right? It was I've had addiction problems too. In the past, I was a weed smoker, I was a drinker, but heavier drugs, right? And
He had addiction problems, and he was a dickhead.
I was addicted.
Oh,
Well, I
go on,
was
Sean.
addicted, but I had you can't name the drugs on YouTube because
Yeah, yeah. But,
it's against TOS. But like, obviously, everybody's had time tucking fucking disco biscuits and stuff like that. But like white powder, I'm talking about, right?
yeah,
And an addiction and being able to fund an addiction by running a business and being
yeah,
I was generally a nice person. I run my business fine. I worked, except behind the scenes, I had this fucking addiction
yeah.
that I could manage because I could afford it. And I just want to say that if anybody's fucking going through stuff, again, this is we're meant to keep kind of light-hearted stuff, but if anybody's ever going through all like that, trust me, I've been through it. And gone to the doctors and speaking about it, and I found a book called Alan Carr's Easy Way. It's not the chatty man Alan Carr, it's Allen Carr, Carr, Easy Way, and it was Easy Way to quit the drug name, or you can get it for smoking and drinking and stuff like
Yeah.
that too. And it was a massive help for me, like so. No, I've been over 2 year. I've no touched any drugs. More than 2 year.
And if you're at that point now, like currently, where you're thinking you don't know whether you have an addiction or you've admitted it, but you don't want to go to the doctors. If there's anything you want to get off your chest, me and Sean will always answer messages. If you message us
I
privately and you think you go in, I'm going through a bit of a tough time at the minute. I just need someone to talk to. Give us a
see,
message. Me or
see, I
Sean
think
will always try and help out as much as
See,
possible.
I've been a smoker, I've been a toker, I've been a midnight joker. No, I'm no saying I've been a smoker, I've been a toker, I've been a heavy drinker or drinker, and I've took other stuff. But I'm in a year sobriety. Now I've had a couple of wee days when I went on holiday and my anniversary recently too. But I'm about 10 months into a year sobriety of drinking and all. So I feel like alcohol and cigarettes are they stigmatised
Because
because
they're
they're more
so,
socially
yeah,
acceptable. Ken, so whereas being out there and being open about my addiction, especially the drinking more recently, the amount of messages I got on me in private Facebook because I'd put a post on about me stopping drinking
yeah,
was surprising to hear that other people are going through it too, but are scared to come out and say it. So I feel
yeah,
like by saying this at the end of the podcast, if I can help one person,
yeah.
then the work's done there. And basically, the way I kind of was made to look at it is make your addiction no taking anything. Make it your addictive thing. So and it really worked for me. I don't know if that makes sense for folk, but make being clean your addiction. Like so,
Yeah.
it
So
it.
just swap out your addiction for something healthy. Um, I
I
feel like,
walk and exercise,
yeah, exactly,
talking.
yeah, yeah. Sean obviously never took his own advice, but um, I'm joking.
But like so, no,
But no, because you, I know for a fact that you was actually walking for a while, weren't you? You went
I
out for
will.
walks and stuff.
And I will get back into doing that again. I think I had that when I went on holiday. Was the worst thing I ever done was going away on holiday. Like
Yeah, and then you came back and you wasn't yourself for a while, was you,
my
Sean?
motivation's gone, and I've been eating shit. I was eating really healthily before I went away.
Yeah,
So no, for the 1st of January, I'm back to fucking walking, talking, waiting shit.
yeah. Well, because I was obviously on my fitness journey. I didn't go to the gym for a little bit, and obviously I've had to start back because I felt myself just putting my weight back on, and that's what it was for me.
Aye.
Was growing up, I've always been like stick thin,
Aye.
and then obviously when you go working for yourself, you just get so many bad habits, and
Bakeries and cakes and fucking.
yeah, not even that. Like I wasn't eating during the day, but then by the time I get home after work, I'm just scoffing everything because I haven't eaten nothing all day.
Aye.
But Kerry showed me a picture yesterday of me 2 years ago, mate. You don't think it's the same person? I'm
Aye, like
like,
that.
no, mate,
Oh, you're
fucking like that.
heavier.
Yeah. So yeah, fucking honestly, mate, it was ridiculous. But yeah, speaking of addiction and stuff, if you're not quite ready to talk to your doctor or talk to a professional, me and Sean are not addiction specialists, alright, but if we can help save one person from doing something stupid, then
Yep.
we'll be more
And I
than
think
happy.
maybe at some point we're going to look at getting James Young at Dragonfly decorating on,
Yeah,
who's very big on speaking like this out loud about addiction stuff.
yeah.
And obviously,
And it's
this is
nothing to be ashamed of either. Like,
no. I
I
think
feel like a
everybody
lot
knows.
of people feel like it's something to be ashamed of, and it's not. It's an addiction. It's a disease. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
I'll tell you something here before we leave. See, when I went to the doctor and opened up to the doctor about my addiction and said I was basically like, what ashamed would be the word to put it.
Yeah,
Ashamed to go into the doctor and say like, I can't believe I'm telling you this and blah de blah. And my mum and dad fucking watch this podcast, by the way. It's the first time they'll maybe be hearing about some of this.
yeah,
And the doctor said to me, don't be ashamed because I'm a doc. He says I'm a general practitioner, and he says you have no idea the amount of because I said basically like I'm a member, good member of the public. I do good things for folk, charities. I donate to things. I sponsor football teams. I'm a generally good person, and I try and be as good as possible. All right,
yeah,
and I say I'm a stand-up member of the community, basically, right. As sappy as it sounds, I am right.
yeah, yeah,
And like I said this to the doctor that what I've gone through, and he said, "Do you realise the amount of career professionals, teachers, whatever that you are getting here with addiction problems?" And it made me feel better because I thought I'm not alone. He could obviously tell me, "Oh, Mrs. fucking Smith, the teacher."
yeah,
And by the
yeah.
way, I'm sorry because there was a Mrs. Smith that was a teacher when I went to high school. She never worked. The doctor, but he never. I just used Mrs. Smith as
Yeah.
a
Mrs.
example.
Smith is just a nice common name that
I
is
I was a
common for
teacher. I
everyone.
was actually an English teacher, and Mrs. Smith going to get fucking arrested the morning, so yeah. But no, like it's out there. It happens. I think it's rife in some places too. But
Yeah,
it shows you like what you see on TikTok, Facebook, or on your podcast right now isn't it always the fucking truth. So that's why
yeah,
we try and be as truthful as we can with these get to
yeah,
know your host specials.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's all.
I've
I
been
wanted to
quite
go
lucky.
through
I've
that.
never had any addictions. Obviously, I've done stuff in the past,
Aye,
but I was never addicted.
aye.
Do you know what I mean?
See,
I stopped it straight away. There was no like, I just went cold turkey with stuff. Do you know what I mean?
my bother was I can't stop things.
Yeah,
I'm all or nothing. I've no cut off limit. I
yeah.
like only an attack or only I've taken. It
You
always
go
says,
all in.
aye,
Yeah. Right. Should we wrap this up?
yep. It's been
Um,
long enough, I think.
yeah. We're sorry it's so long. 2 hours and 40. 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Fucking hell. Yeah,
But it was to be expected. It was a Sean special,
exactly.
and it's been a pleasure doing the episode with you, Sean. As
Thanks a lot.
always.
This episode, know that you've heard enough of me. I'll really fast. It's sponsored by Nap and Bristle Decorating Supplies. www.napandbristle.com. .co.uk.
Highly recommended. And good night or good day.
Thanks.